We have a lot to talk about today, by the
We
way.
really do. We
This
really
is
do.
kind of a loaded episode, I would say.
And here's the thing: is I'm bringing something to the table that I didn't tell you about. I have a surprise for you. I'm turning the
Oh,
tables
shit.
on you. I have I have a gimmick. Do we want to start with my gimmick?
Sure, I'll let you cook.
Let me cook on my gimmick. Okay, so we famously did playoff predictions. Now, part of the reason I'm late is because I was sifting through the episodes because I literally cannot remember the predictions that we made.
Okay.
And I was in our Eastern Conference episode. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think we ever actually picked a specific number for Pacers Bucks, which seems insane to me because I thought I remember both of us picking Pacers in 5.
You pick Pacers in 5, I pick Pacers in 6.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That makes sense. I literally could not find it. I kept scrubbing through the episode. Like I was like, what the fuck? Why are we talking about all this stuff? Anyway, so I have a new score. This is another way for me to try to basically draw even with Trill, who keeps kicking my ass at the over-unders by like 2 points every year. I'm unearthing what I call playoff golf. Now, the name of how this works is...
I already know.
You already have it figured out. It is...
Sam got Pacers in 5. Exactly right. So
exactly,
that's perfectly... That's 0.
Yeah, that's
so I
zero.
get -1 for picking Pacers in 6.
Exactly.
Well, actually, I guess in golf it would be... Isn't it... I can't remember.
Yeah, I guess it would be +1. Yeah. There's no minuses. It's however many games you are off. However, if you get the team wrong, that's an extra stroke as well. So even if you picked Clippers in 7 and it's Nuggets in 7, that's 2 points that you get. And I will be keeping score while we do our predictions throughout these playoffs, and whoever has the lowest score will win.
Well, I'm in better shape than you are because
you certainly are. You certainly are.
Because I was like, the only one I've gotten wrong, if the series finish as they currently are, which is the Nuggets leading, the Warriors leading, the only one I will have gotten wrong is Lakers Timberwolves, and I picked the Lakers in 7. So if they push the series, then I get a little bit closer to.
I think I also picked with you on that. So
did you? I guess yeah. You pick Rockets over Warriors.
Yeah, Rockets or Warriors is where I'm going to get owned. Yeah, that's where I'm getting turbo owned this time around. So, it's tough.
That's actually a brilliant way to keep score of the playoffs, though. I do like that. You need OKC to lose in round 2 to have any shot.
Well, we haven't done the predictions yet. What if I just the
we already did the predictions. We're changing our predictions now?
Well, no, we do the round 2 ones. No, we did our prediction. No, I'm not counting our.
Oh my god! All right.
I'm doing our week to week ones.
Our pre-playoff ones don't count then?
No, they do count. It's a different thing. It's like the FA Cup versus the Champions League.
We're getting mulligans?
This is like a different... No. It's just like a different competition. Like, you get the pre-playoff championship trophy. I get a different trophy that is for being correct on a week-by-week
participation trophy?
Yeah, yes, exactly. I'm a millennial. This is what I want. I want my participation trophy.
You get like when they do like the English soccer tournaments.
Yes.
Like 3 ones.
That's what I'm saying. Because they invented that because people would just win the league. Like you win the league table early every year, but I've got a shot when it's game to game.
Let's go. Let's get it. All right, we'll do once the round is set for the second round. We'll repick because there will at least be. I'll have one wrong, so I'll have to because I originally had Warriors winning in the second round anyway. So it's kind of like March Madness, where you got the series wrong, but you had that team losing in the next round anyway, so it doesn't really hurt you all that much. Like the Lakers losing in the first round, if that holds, then I'll have to pick Warriors Wolves. I already had Warriors Thunder as my Western Conference Finals.
I mean, if the Clippers lose, I automatically lose no matter what. Basically.
I memean,
disastrous.
Series isn't over. I want to put that in. It does feel. It feels pretty grim for the Clippers right now because of the fact that like they should have won game 1. They had that massive comeback in game 4, and then they lost in a heartbreaking fashion, and then they just didn't show up for game 5.
That's what I can't believe how bad they lost last night. Like
It felt like through 3 games, they were clearly the better team.
Yes.
And now the script has been completely flipped, but this is, funny enough, Jokic not even having that great of a game last night, but this is the thing when we talk about when you're going against a team that has an all-time player, a team that's won a title, like it's zombie Heat shit, but with like real actual talent, like top end championship level talent, instead of, fake Mickey talent that Spo and Jimmy dragged over the finish line. We'll get to the Heat. We'll get to the Heat.
We'll get to the Heat. Yeah.
We have to, for the big story up top is we haven't talked since Damian Lillard tore his Achilles the other night.
Well, real quick, just before we move off that, I also do just want to point out that you turned my own weapon against me here. You picked the Nuggets on vibes because of all the media people picking the Clippers. And
I did.
You cooked me with that. Like
last second pivot, by the way.
Yes.
Literally like an hour before, I was like, everyone picking the Clippers, I'm just using, if the Clippers are the true West Coast analogy for the Sixers, anytime people believe in them, they will falter. The only time they've made it to the Western Conference Finals was in 2021, when kind of everyone had given up on them after the bubble. Kawhi Leonard got hurt in the first game of the second round or second game of the second round, whatever that was. And then they made the one. If you believe too much in the Clippers or the Sixers, they will always disappoint you. Just have lower expectation. Have the stakes as low as possible for them, and they might surprise you. But if you're going in thinking high expectations for the Clippers, oh my God, you picked the Clippers to win the West. I forgot about that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If they lose, I just automatically lose. Which,
there's no formula we can come up with to help
why I have to create this new format for golf. I need a new way to win.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So since we last spoke, Damian Lillard tore his Achilles. That was almost instantly evident when you watch the game. It felt like when they showed the replay, Dame kind of already knew. He was down on the court smiling. Kind of, it looked like he was, it was kind of a somber moment. It looked like he was kind of reflecting on everything, kind of what had happened. Another disastrous ending to a Bucks season. This
was like particularly catastrophic. Like
back to back.
Yeah.
To have the Dame thing happen in a series that they were trying to get back into in a game 4.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the snowball effect of going into the next game knowing you don't have Dame, really playing carefree basketball against a team that has more pressure to win than you do, because if you lose, you lose. You lost Dame for the series. You're clearly undermanned. We talked about Doc being undermanned, the history of him overperforming with less talent and all that. And then they have one of the worst collapses we've ever seen. They're up. They started that game 13-0. They were up 30-13 after the first quarter. They were up in the fourth quarter when the Pacers came back to send it to overtime. And then they were up 7 with 35 seconds left in overtime. Turned it over twice. The Pacers just kept hanging and hanging. And eventually I think that's the most really, I would say probably since 2019, a way to end it. Now, look, it wasn't a game 7 like Sixers Raptors. And it wasn't, the Damian Lillard, funny enough, referencing Damian Lillard. It wasn't that. But it was about as catastrophic as you can get for a 5-loss series.
It's the worst single. I think that is like the worst like loss I've ever seen, because like all these other things we're talking about hinged on like one single play.
Yeah.
I've never seen you need like an exact 4 episode, like basically starting at like 35 seconds. You need like 4 catastrophic events to happen in sequence to win. Like I've never seen anything like that. Like the only thing that I can think of is Reggie Miller and the Knicks is like the only thing I can think of that like comes close.
If the Sixers had won the Knicks series last year after their mini version of that comeback, when the Tyrese Maxey game,
right? Yeah.
That would be the only thing that I think would be the equivalent. But also, if you want to just throw that up there, the Sixers also had a similar collapse earlier in the series, so at least negated it a little bit. One of those 2 games was a collapse by each team, at least. Honestly, the best comp is probably is probably the Clippers Rocket series with Harden on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Was that game 6, I think? The Josh Smith game.
The Josh Smith game, yeah.
Corey
The
Brewer,
threes,
Josh
yeah.
Smith. I think I saw the stat that was basically, I think Doc is the only coach to have lost 2 games in the playoffs up 7 with 35 seconds or less left. And that was the OKC Clippers game.
That's, man.
Yeah, Clippers Thunder game 5, 2014, when they were about to go up 3-2 in the series.
That's crazy, dude. Like that.
It has to just be a vibes thing, because honestly,
Yeah.
like, what can, like, now look, there's one thing to be like, Doc has shortcomings as a coach. We've talked about that ad nauseum here. But at a certain point, like, what can you do? The ball fell through Gary Trent Jr.'s hands. He had just made like 4 threes in a row.
Yep. As they pointed out, also, like, that foul on Halliburton was called not a foul in the last 2-minute report. Like, Gary Trent, like, after just I think what was the stat that, like, Simmons had today? It was like Gary Trent, like, with like 1:30 to go or like 30 seconds to go, Gary Trent had 12 points in overtime and the entire Pacers team had 8 or something like that. Like,
I mean, he was on fire, dude.
Yeah.
I literally was like, he had moments in this series where he's probably going to end up getting a huge bag after this, I would imagine. But just once again, having 2 just total brain fart moments down the stretch of that game ended up costing them the series, costing them their season. And once again, like, it's Doc just happens to be around for these things. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know what he can do.
Yeah. We were saying it on the stream last night. Like, you know, Doc mostly innocent for this season. Like, this is a GM crime. This is not a coaching crime. Like, what happened here? But, like, goddamn, dude, it's so bad because you're talking about, depending on how you feel about, you know, Kareem and what. Because I think for Kareem's career, I think of Kareem as a Laker.
Giannis means more to the Bucks than Kareem does.
Yeah. You're talking about the greatest player who ever played for your franchise, but the most meaningful single player for your franchise. What could be the last time? You know, now Simmons, everyone's been very heavy with that. I would not, a lot of people are saying Giannis is for sure gone. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think we talked about that. I would not be shocked if Giannis, it's like, yeah, Giannis wants to stay and they're still dog shit, but like,
all right, here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Dame thing adds another wrinkle to it because a lot of people pointed this out. This was our instant thought. If Dame's out next year, which he is, like, we know he's out, he'll be 36 and a half when he comes back. Giannis will certainly punt on an entire season of his career.
Yeah. And he doesn't have a ton of, well, Giannis is 31.
He's turning 31 soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dame has an extra year after that too. So he comes back at 36 and a half. By the way, just a little quick Dame legacy rundown. Top 75 all-time player, made the NBA 75 list. One of the 2 or 3 best Blazers of all time. Only made 1 Western Conference Finals, but obviously was an amazing regular season player and had some really big playoff moments in his career. The 2 main buzzer beaters in the Rockets and the Thunder series are the 2 that I think 2 of the most iconic buzzer beaters in playoff histories. I think he's the only player that's ever won 2 series on buzzer beaters. Yeah. One of 3 Hall of Fame players from the 2012 draft, along with Anthony Davis and Draymond Green.
Derek Favors.
Yes.
Derek Favors. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was a different draft, 2010, but close.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait.
This is Michael Gilchrist is who you were thinking of. 2012 was not Derek Favors. We're not going to waste time on this.
Okay.
That was 2010. It was the Boogie Cousins draft. Remember Bobby Mark said he took Derek Favors because he thought he would have more trade value than Boogie Cousins?
Right, but didn't the Nets? Oh,
why
no,
are we
the
wasting
Nets
our
traded
time
the
with
Knicks.
this?
Okay, yeah, Joe lost. Okay, yeah,
I know.
Okay, yeah.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
So,
I'll split the difference and say
while
Michael
we're doing the
Kidd
Dame legacy
Favors.
piece, wait, what draft was Derek Favors in? It doesn't matter.
It does to me. It means something to me, damn it.
So Dame, an amazing career considering, went to Weber State.
Yeah.
Was like a 6'1" guard that came into the NBA probably at the perfect time for his archetype.
For sure.
As a pull-up three-point shooter, kind of, the second best pull-up three-point shooter of his era behind Steph Curry, who obviously, dominated the era, blah, blah, blah. And Dame happened to be going up against him way too many times. And, but the Dame part of this is the real, like, if Dame didn't get hurt, you could talk yourself into the Bucks kind of tweaking around the margins, trying to see if they can just salvage this thing one more year. Giannis really wants to stay with the Bucks. There probably isn't a huge trade market for Dame anyway. Yeah. They'll at least have maybe some of these young guys that are on the fringes of their rotation, like AJ Green's been playable. They're probably going to lose Gary Trent Jr. and Brook Lopez might age out here, or he might leave in free agency, to be honest. But the Dame tearing his Achilles part makes it so that Giannis really has to just, like, if he's fine with being Dirk with a title in the middle of his career instead of the end of his career, then yeah, he might stay with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be shocked, but knowing the way that Giannis talks now is different than how he used to talk, I'll say. Yeah. I'm not saying he's always made his commitments to the Bucks obvious. Like, he wants to stay in Milwaukee. If it were a perfect world, he would stay there. But the way that he discusses the whole situation now is very different than how he used to discuss it. And after he won a title, he's stamped forever. He has nothing left to prove. Yeah. Won multiple MVPs, finals MVP, all that stuff. Like all-time greatest Buck, blah, blah, blah. But the whole part of this is that he's talked about the fact that, like, he wants to win. He wants to get a second title. He thinks about it all the time. There are a ton of teams out there that would be very interested in him. There are probably teams that could just plug him in and instantly be a title contender next year.
I think a lot of teams.
Yes.
I think that there's like 10 teams that would, like, if OKC traded for him, that's a wrap for like 3 years, barring injuries, I think, at least.
There are a few teams that I want to go down.
Okay.
But the Giannis staying part of it feels like it went out the window the second that Dame got hurt to me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know. I feel like I think Giannis in some way understands, though, that, like, they didn't really have a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, losing in round one, they didn't have a shot. There was no way they were winning a title this year. Like, even if Dame was healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I'm kind of building that into my analysis of Giannis, is that I think that he understands that this is cooked.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, I think he's known that it's been cooked in Milwaukee for like 2 years. Like, and he's stayed thus far. So we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, I just think I wouldn't be shocked. I just, some of the stuff, Bill was talking like there's no way he goes back. And
I'm like 80-20, he leaves.
He evoked LeBron taking the jersey off in like 2010 against the Celtics, and I was like, it's not like that.
Did you see him doing the prayer emoji when he walked off?
No,
over his head, Giannis.
No, Giannis did.
I think that's probably why people were speculating on it, because he might do that a lot.
He was doing a Houston Rocket.
He was signaling.
Yeah, he was signaling the rocket.
He was sending code to Ime Udoka saying, "Tell Raphael Stone,
bring me in." Everyone knows the Rockets have all the shooting that you need to put around Dame.
Exactly. If I was thinking about around Giannis, if I was thinking of a team that could possibly perfectly put Giannis in, it would definitely be the perfectly spaced Houston Rockets, who have had no trouble scoring in the half court at all this entire playoffs.
Twan says Giannis was communicating with Aj.
Oh, step back Aj?
Yeah. He's communicating with Biased Houston. He was sending Biased Houston code.
Hieroglyphic.
Sending him message received, Sir Giannis. I will.
That's an ancient Greek symbol.
It means I want to play with Jalen Green.
He wants to be around the aura, man. So By the way, I don't know if you saw it, but Stepak Ach is selling his account because of Harden.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's a bit.
Okay.
Because Harden had a flop game last night,
Oh.
so he made his whole account. He just turned his whole account black and then said, "If anyone made his display name selling account, DM for information." Amazing time to be a Harden stan
I
right
saw that
now.
on my timeline. I genuinely thought that was Kylie.
She also feels that way, I'm sure,
Yeah.
today. Yeah, or she's just pretending like it didn't happen last
She's
night. Didn't happen.
strong.
Yeah.
As the leader of Har Nation. Kylie's kind of like the Har Nation prime minister, and like Step Back Ach is like the royal family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
She's kind of like the hand of the king,
Yeah.
like so the real power.
I have seen
power.
I feel really bad for Bucks fans because I've seen them go through the cycles of grief over the last few days. Nihilus Bucks has really been going through it in our group DM. Right after Dame this was before last night, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Dame got hurt, even before the full collapse last night, he said, "Okay, disgusting concept. Bradley Beal for Dame."
Yeah,
and I just sent back bargaining phase.
Yeah. Dude, being in a group chat with Nihilus Bucks is so funny because it's like it's literally the thing. Stop. Nihilus Bucks only sends trades like this when he's very depressed.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's the. You're getting like disgusting like trade machine war crimes. No, there is no trade machine war criminal like Nihilus Bucks. Like
no,
it's not just the episodes we do because a lot of us will only dip in there with like as like Nihilus Bucks is in there scrimmaging for the love of the game.
Right, we're seasonal trade machine war criminals.
Yeah, like no, Nihilus Bucks is getting reps in all day, every day. Like it's
24/7,
24/7. Yeah, he's sending us like Bobby Portis for Yusuf Nurkic, like at 2 a.m.
So a few people have brought up the Beal for Dame thing. There's no way that the Suns do that. The Suns have sent the message. I know they want to get off the Beal contract no matter what. I understand that. They've also sent the message that like they're not tanking. And if they take on Dame's dead salary next year, they are tanking, whether they like it or not. You can't pay a player $55 million a year to not, even with Bradley Beal being as bad as he is, they don't have good rotation players. You're leaving Devin Booker completely out to dry if you do that. What do you get for Kevin Durant in that circumstance? Like, there's no world where they do that trade. They're not doing it. Why are we spending time on this? Matt Ishbia has said, I'm not tanking. The only team that would even entertain a Dame trade would be a tanking team.
Yes, correct.
And to be clear, I think they're going to be bad. I don't think that they're aware they're going to be bad.
That's probably correct.
I think that's the disconnect.
Yeah, you're probably correct about that. I think they should absolutely be doing that. They should trade Dame. They should trade Kevin Durant. They should trade Booker. They should take Dame.
Right, but they're not going to do that.
Take Dame to also. But here's the other thing: if you're trading Giannis, why are you trading Dame? Just fucking.
No. This is in the circumstance where they keep Giannis. This was the coat. This is the coat from Bucks fans.
Sure.
It's like, all right, well, like to be clear, that would be good for the Bucks to get rid of Dame and get Bradley Beal would make them a better team next year than having no one.
But here's the other thing: is like, isn't Bradley Beal's contract the same length as Dame's? So there's like no incentive there.
Well, the incentive is that you want to keep Giannis.
No, I'm saying there's no incentive for the Suns to do that deal.
Exactly.
They would need to get something.
Yeah. Like, if Dame was expiring and they could send stuff, sure, but it doesn't matter. This isn't happening. This is the kind of levels of cope that we're getting is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And if there is a team that is willing to take the Dame contract, it has to be in the circumstance that they're fine with being bad next year.
Yeah.
Like the Utah Jazz, for example. Like Danny Ainge going pervert mode and just sending like John Collins and something, and then having Dame do he's went to college in Utah. He's expressed wanting to play for them. They want to be bad next year, and then they'd only have 1 year left of Dame, and maybe they get something from the Bucks. I don't even know what the Bucks have to trade at this point.
They don't have much. You'd have to basically just trade AJ Green. Like, is he the only who has positive value on that team? Like, everyone's on like tiny contracts or like make good contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like they're Andre Jackson, I guess, but then you're trading
He's
like
not
one of
even a
your like,
rotation player. Like
yeah.
I just there's no value in any of the.
God,
AJ Green is the one.
we need to do a horse. I know he didn't get fired.
Yeah,
The
we should do.
horse swap trial would be like they ran through
His
annoying map guy.
his draft.
Was Yeah. Who's the annoying map guy? Works for the Ringer now. Kurt Goldsberry.
Kirk Goldberry.
Yeah, he ran through the draft picks since Giannis has been there since 2020. It is fucking grim, dude. It
Yeah.
is so grim. I didn't realize they didn't hit on like any. Like
Yeah,
I
Green is
completely.
their only one, and he was undrafted, and he's like a 7th or 8th man.
It's like they trading DiVincenzo. Like
Yeah.
they didn't like. It's Nawara. It's Marjan Beauchamp.
Mhm.
It's like dog. It's
AJ
so
Johnson,
bad.
who they just traded. Yeah.
That's terrible. Like that really is where they like that's where they like lost the window and lost
That's
the
where if you want to extend a window, you don't even need to get like a Tyrese Maxey. Like you need to
just need like one Torian Prince or something like that.
Or like a bet. Yeah, exactly. Like you need like a Cam Johnson. like you just need someone who is like a starter level player that can play with Giannis.
I was say I don't even think you need a Cam Johnson. I think if they had gotten like a Karis LeVert or like a Spencer Dinwiddie out of that, like I think that really would have meaningfully changed things for them. Like,
yeah, the Dante for Ibaka trade. I think revisiting that, I think that was more of a bet that Dante was not going to be the same physically because he had multiple injuries back to back. And remember, he sucked until he got to the Warriors. He was not good for the Bucks when he came back from that injury. He struggled on the Kings, and then eventually found his way the next year. Was good with the Warriors, and then broke out with the Knicks the next year. But the Dante bet must have been a bet against the fact that they thought that his ankles or whatever his lower body was just cooked. And I think that ended up massively backfiring because Ibaka was already cooked when they traded for him. And those aren't and Zach Lowe properly killed them at the time for that trade because he was like, these aren't the kind of trades you make when you're trying to keep some like a generational superstar happy. Like these are the kind of moves that you make when you're like what they just did when you're at the end of the road.
Yeah.
And you're like this was a bad trade, bad timing, all of that. But anyway, I do want to
also has Ibaka exclusively gotten traded for players that are better than him throughout his career? Right?
Dante DiVincenzo, the Ibaka was Sabonis and Oladipo. Terrence Ross. That was a fleecing by the Raptors.
Yeah,
they traded him Terrence Ross, who stinks for Serge Ibaka.
Didn't score 50 in a playoff game though. Ibaka never did that.
I don't think he scored 50 in a playoff game. I think it was a regular season game.
I thought it was wasn't it the one they won?
No, because he's one of the random 50-point guys. It's like Corey Brewer, Malachi Flynn, Terrence Ross. Jamal Crawford had one at the end, but he was also a bucket.
Yeah. That's not random.
Yeah, that's not random because I think he actually had multiple 50-point games in his career.
Man, yeah, the Bucks, it's great. I mean, it's time to pull the plug. Do we want to talk about that real quick?
I want to talk about the Giannis trade stuff.
Yeah.
Because someone pitched an idea that let me clear out for a second because someone pitched an idea here that I actually thought made a lot of sense for all teams involved.
Okay.
Which was because the dialogue around this whole trade Giannis and rebuild and all that stuff is that the Bucks can't do it because they don't have their own picks. Like they have to trade for a good player that can play now and help them win because they don't want to give away the top picks in the draft because they traded it to the Pelicans for Drew Holiday and then the Blazers for Damian Lillard and blah, blah, blah. Hear me out for a second. Someone brought up the blueprint that the Nets did last offseason when they got their picks back, where they sent the Suns picks to the Rockets and they got their own picks back. What if a similar trade happened again?
Okay.
Where this was the trade. The Rockets get Giannis. The Pelicans get Şengün and the Suns picks from the Rockets.
Ooh.
And then the Bucks get Zion, Jabari Smith Jr., and their own picks back from the Pelicans.
I would absolutely. I think that's a great deal.
That's a best of both worlds trade for the Bucks, where you get to test this thing out and see if you can get once again, Zion has the unguaranteed contract.
Yep.
You can basically bring in a guy that could potentially still be a top 10 player in the NBA. See if you can get him healthy. Give yourselves a few years. And if it doesn't work out, great. You got your own picks back. And then you take a flyer on Jabari. You try your lottery luck out. You're basically getting the best player possible back for Giannis.
Yeah.
With some question marks, obviously.
Yeah.
But the question for me is, I think the Pelicans would also be open to this, because what is Şengün if not like I don't think he'll reach the ceiling of what Zion could have been, but he's way more available. And he's someone who at least will help keep you respectable in the Western Conference, along with the guys they already have on the roster.
Yep.
And then the Suns picks could have potentially a ton of high value.
Yep.
And then the Rockets
potentially they will. They
definitely
have high value. Yeah.
And then the Rockets get the best player in the trade by a mile, who's way more available than Zion.
I mean, that's what you're hoping for with the Bucks picks, is that they will be as valuable as the Suns picks, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are equally fucked franchises. Who cares? Like, you get to sub in, you get to turn Zion into Şengün, like, in that trade, like, and get like guaranteed like better like picks, and you probably still get to keep a swap or something in there somewhere, probably, like, because I think that's how, isn't that how the Rockets one worked, where like Rockets got to keep like one Nets thing, I thought. Like,
yeah, they have one thing. I actually think I sent it to the Pelicans in this trade, if I remember correctly. But yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I mean, again, understand there's a little bit of eye above the beholder stuff with like Zion, where like I understand some people are just gonna hate this, but here's the thing: is like, if Zion fucking sucks, you can A, cut him, and then B, you have your own picks back and you're tanking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, I know that's kind of grim, but that's like kind of the best case scenario here for kind of getting out from under everything.
The question for me is, if you are the Bucks, would you rather just cut out the Pelicans and say,
no,
let's get Şengün and Jabari, or Şengün and whoever, and then get the Suns picks and bet against the Suns and see if because the East is worse than the West.
That's true.
And it is easier to be a play-in range team in the East. So if you get, like, I'm not saying that team would be good, but what I'm saying is that you at least could have a competent team where you're not giving away top 5 picks every year if you're the Bucks. And you're just getting yourself through this window, and then you're reassessing in 2 or 3 years from now.
I think it's so much. My argument here would be, I think it's way more important to have your own picks, because by definition you can control them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if something is going wrong or there's protections kicking in or something, you can just fucking lose games. You can tell your coach, sit this person. You know, like, yeah. And I think the thing is, like, with the Zion, you don't even need Zion to be great. Like, maybe if you're not sold on Zion, you can think of Zion as like a used car flipping. You know what I'm saying? Like that is, because the other thing is, you are going to get Dame back in a year too.
A very Bill analogy.
It is a very Bill analogy. Like,
Zion's like a Tesla truck. Sometimes he catches on fire.
Yeah. Sometimes he does it. Like, I think if you don't, I don't think you still have a dog shit roster and literally no talent.
Yeah.
After you trade Giannis. So like, I don't think Jabari.
But other than that.
But here's the thing is, I don't think Jabari and Şengün meaningfully like moves the needle. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying, but like, the Raptors aren't like horrific and they missed the play-in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah, like I don't think just getting Şengün and like Jabari Smith is like making you meaningfully more competitive. I actually think Zion is a better upside play than
the Zion play. The reason why I think the Zion play makes a little bit of sense for the Bucks is because they don't get star players unless they draft them.
Yes.
And if you ever want to have a chance to get a top 10 to 15 player in the NBA, unless you think Şengün can become that, which I don't think that's like impossible to be clear.
That's not impossible.
I don't think it's super likely, but I don't think it's impossible. He's 22 and he's really good. Even though he has clear flaws in his game and he might cap your ceiling at some point, I think a lot of that stuff's overblown. Like, I see I saw Nate Jones on Twitter being like, I would build around Jabari Smith and trade Şengün. Like, it's the dumbest argument ever because, yeah, Şengün might eventually cap your ceiling. If you did that, you wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about trading Şengün for like Giannis. I'm saying like if you traded Şengün just to trade Şengün.
I think what they should be more interested in, I think they should be more interested in getting involved in the Jalen Green business to like get the Rockets to like make that money work. Like,
what do you mean?
Like I would
so just get every single pick. So you'd rather take Jalen Green and every single pick imaginable for Giannis as opposed to
yes. Yeah.
Jalen Green's so bad, dude.
He's so bad. Yeah. You know what? He's got 2 years left on his contract. Like, you're going to be bad anyway. Let him get his shots in. Who cares? Like,
he's got 3 years left on his contract. He has a player option on the last year, not a team option.
I thought it was a 3-year deal when he signed.
Player option on the last year. I looked it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because one of the worst contracts I've ever seen from a team.
It was pretty bad.
It's bad because everything I laid out, which was, even if he was good, you were never going to get value on the deal.
But here's the thing: is you now do have the money to trade for Giannis without giving up Şengün if you want.
So, if I were the Rockets, I would be trying to do that. To be clear,
yeah.
Now, is Giannis and Şengün a great fit with Sar Thompson as the third guy? No, but you can figure that out.
Who cares?
You can make other trades. You could trade Şengün for value.
Giannis isn't a non-shooter anymore. Like, he's not a three-point shooter, but he's like a.
The kind of shooter he is, though, is a Şengün shooter.
That's true.
Where you have to function the offense around that.
Yeah.
And Asar, or I'm not Asar, Amen. I called him Asar. God damn it. Amen is a complete non-shooter. Like, I love Amen. This is why if I'm the Rockets and I'm interested in Giannis, I know like Şengün has been awesome and he's very clearly their best player. But also, it's not a clean, perfect fit.
No.
It's like if you're not trading Şengün and you're keeping Şengün, Jalen Green isn't a great fit with Giannis and Amen. Like there still is that lack of shooting for sure. And I don't know. I see other teams, like I do just want to run down some other teams that people have talked about.
Yeah.
The Spurs just don't have enough. Like I keep seeing them like
like
Castle is not like I like Castle fine enough. He had a good rookie season. He's still incredibly efficient, cannot shoot. And I am still skeptical of the higher end outcomes for him because of those things. I don't see a world in which Castle plus whatever salary they can make work plus picks is enough for Giannis.
If they do, that's a fucking disaster. That is like I would put everyone in Milwaukee on suicide watch if that was ever even considered. That's GM malpractice. I don't even think Horst is that bad. Steph Castle is like a sixth man, dude. The way that the people talk about Steph Castle makes me insane, dude. The upside is fucking Lou Dort or Marcus Smart. Like, what are we talking about? It's crazy. I don't know. There's no way the Spurs are not
getting him a little bit more than that. Like, I think that he has a slightly higher upside, but I also think that if he cannot shoot from three, then none of that is all that relevant.
No, it's a disaster. I mean, he should be in Oklahoma City Thunder. Like that. There's never been a more open and shut case.
Well, okay, if OKC loses, then maybe. If OKC wins the title, it's not happening. It's not happening. The last time
Why would you not do that?
Who was the last team to win a title and then do that?
I mean, here's the thing.
Even the Warriors lost.
That's what I'm saying. The Warriors are like the exception to that, but like that is the most like freak thing. You know what I'm saying? That was not like they needed a move to get them over the top. If Sam Presti does not trade for Giannis, I'm sorry, he's a fucking insane coward. That is
but if they win the finals, there's no reason.
There's plenty of reason because you can have 4 titles instead of getting. Oh, we got 2 titles instead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they're not going to split up their championship core if that happens. They might do it to add him. If they do all the picks and add him to the core, I think that's different.
But I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not like
they're not going to trade one of their 3 best players if they win the title, dude.
You're not trading Jalen Williams for Giannis.
Yes, I'm literally. What I'm saying is that if a team wins a championship, they don't trade their core ever. It doesn't happen. There's never been a time where you have a core of 3 players 25 and under and you're trading one of them. When has it ever happened? What's the reference point?
It is the Warriors, because the Warriors still would have taken Kevin Durant, like, even if they I'm sorry, even if they won that.
Not Harrison Barnes, dude.
That's fair enough. Here's the thing, though, like, that was also a free agent signing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that's every team in the NBA would have done that.
Yeah. It's insane to me. Giannis is 31. Like, when we were talking about it's Kevin Durant, how old was Kevin Durant, like, when those Phoenix Suns things were happening? He was like 33, 34 when we were
33, 34.
33 or 34. Like, I think that is an open and shut thing, because I think if Giannis is like remotely healthy, you have 2 of the inarguably 3 best players in the NBA on your team. That has never fucking happened, and you would walk to at minimum 3 titles.
I don't disagree that they should explore it. What I'm saying is that teams don't do it. Like, we could talk all day about whether they should or not. No team has ever done it in the history of the NBA.
I think that's irrelevant, because I don't think there's ever been a situation where a team as good as Oklahoma City has had the assets to straight up get a guy like this out of hand.
If I were OKC and I won the title this year,
yes,
I would say here's Hartenstein, Dort, or whatever to make the salary work, and every pick we have.
And I would say yes to that as the Bucks. Like, I would not hold out for Jalen Williams. Or
here's 9 first-round picks for Giannis.
Yeah.
So there's the agreement that I would agree with. Sure.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, if Jalen Williams, like, OKC, you make fun of them all the time, but like, if any team has a player under 25 that made an all-star team and might make all NBA and then wins a title, they don't trade that player. Like, whether it's Giannis or not, I'm just saying there's no precedent for Chet or J-Dub to be involved in that trade if they win the title. Now, if they lose in the second round, everything's on the table, I think. I think if they lose in the second round of the conference finals, they'll make that trade, or they'll consider making it.
Here's my thing is, it's just like, it's very rare that a team is in those circumstances again. I think this is the reason that hasn't happened, is because usually teams are not in circumstances to trade for an MVP where they have the assets to do that. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you have the MVP. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about trading out the best player. We're talking about trading out the second best player for an MVP, and a guy who has gotten MVP votes. I think he's finished in the top 3 in MVP voting every season for a half decade.
Close to it. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like that. It's absurd. And GM, I don't care how good you are, if you can get that guy for a 4-year like title window, you have to do that.
And I will say, I don't think Giannis is one of the superstars that would care about going to OKC. Like,
no.
So I think there's some superstars that would just be like, I will never go there. Don't trade me there. But I think Giannis would be one of the few that would be like, yeah, let's go win some titles. I'm already stamped individually. If I can stat pad and get like this is what I talk about. Like, this is obviously a much more miniature version of this, where like, I talked about it with Devin Booker, where like Devin Booker's right now probably just going to take the contract, go down as like a Suns legend, and be like a slightly better version of Bradley Beal in his career.
Yeah.
Whereas if he were to get traded to a team and became a second option and then contended for titles, like first ballot Hall of Famer, no brainer.
Yeah.
Like, and Giannis is like, now we're talking about like potentially stat padding the legacy for upper end talks, because everyone already agrees he's one of the 25 best players of all time.
Yeah.
If he reaches that, if he's 1A, 1B on a title team with Shai for multiple years, or whoever, Wemby or whoever can figure out a way to trade for him, then I think that moves him up to like higher conversations.
Yeah,
it shows a flexibility that he has not had so far in his career, and the top guys have had that.
It's happening later in his career, but this would be his like Shaq Lakers arc. kind of.
Sure.
You know, like and
Shaq
put him
didn't
in
win
as a,
before the Lakers.
before the Lakers. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
well, also I don't think Shaq's the analog because Shaq was like in his prime on the Lakers. Like that was what Giannis did with the Bucks, but he had 3 straight titles. I know he had Kobe, but like he was the guy. I think the analog is almost like Kevin Durant, or I'm trying to think of, I guess Kevin Durant didn't win one title too.
Bill Walton pre-injury, like
yeah,
better than Bill Walton.
I'm trying to think. Has there ever been a guy that won a title on a team
as the best player,
Finals
MVP,
and then went to another team and then was part of another great team?
Kawhi?
Because most of the guys, what's that?
Kawhi's
an interesting one. Oh, Kareem is literally the comp.
Yeah,
that's actually the perfect comp.
Yeah,
he's older than Kareem. Funny enough, it was also on the Bucks. But that's probably the closest comp that we have, because LeBron didn't even win on the Cavs. Not his fault at all. Those teams fucking sucked. But
I can't wait for Horst to trade Giannis for Austin Reeves and expiring LeBron to the Lakers.
Who?
You trading Giannis for Austin Reeves and expiring LeBron.
LeBron is salary filler. Sorry, we had to do it to make the deal work.
Yeah, that it feels like something that's going to happen at some point. Like
just the ultimate falling up move again.
Yeah, it just it's so disgusting. I do think I think we're all very lucky that Sam Presti is a coward, because I actually do kind of agree with you. I don't think they're going to do this. But they should. And Chet is like the perfect front court partner too, with like Giannis. Like literally everything about it makes sense. Like he's like exactly what they need. Like if you just turn Hardenstein into Giannis, like.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be pretty good.
like they would be absurd.
I mean, actually the historical comp of that, like 1-for-1, is literally adding KD to the Warriors.
That's what I'm saying. Like they
were already an all-time regular season team. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. I think they have a good chance.
It would be a younger version of the Warriors.
No, around the same age. I guess the two other guys, J-Dub and Chet, are younger, but Shea's close to what Steph's age was.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
But
I always forget he's as old as Jason Tatum.
Yeah. So, all right. So a few other teams that I think we have to just touch on real quick.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Because I think there are teams that are going to be throwing themselves for the chance to trade for you. Because the thing is, the Bucks will never trade Giannis for good reason. He's a franchise icon unless he asks out.
Yep.
Also sells tickets, adored in Milwaukee, all that stuff. Other teams, even if they're not like Oklahoma City or Houston, where like they're ready to contend, will be in these conversations. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about the Nets. The Nets will be in the conversation. I don't think they should do it because I just don't think they have enough good players or way to build a quick, good team around Giannis. I just don't see the vision there. Yep. The Heat will be in the conversation.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but I don't know what their pitch is going to be. But
the pitch for that, and I don't think it happens, to be clear. I think that's like la fantasy Miami Heat media stuff. The pitch would be trade Bam to a third team that sends, because once again, me and you look at that Bam contract, $55 million player option in a few years.
I think he's going to be picking that one up.
And we say, please keep that away from me. I think what other teams think is that Bam just needs to be a second option. And he would obviously be better playing off like a Luka or a Trey or whoever. But what teams are giving up a lot of value to get Bam? And then Miami would have to send shit to the Bucks as well. And then you're left with like Tyler Hero, Giannis, and a bunch of whatever. But you're just hoping that Spo can work his devil magic, basically.
Yeah.
Similar to what he did with Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
When Jimmy Butler went there, they did not have many good players.
No.
They literally had Bam, who had not broken out yet. Tyler Hero was a rookie. And a bunch of old Goran Dragic. They found Caleb Martin on the scrap heap later. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus were nobodies. Like that's their Duncan Robinson. That's their thing.
Yeah.
That would be Giannis and the Heat trusting that they can figure out a way to make it work because they're demons and they always figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen, to be clear, but that's the pathway that they're in the conversation. The other team that Will brought up to me was because like this is like where like if the Cavs lose in the next round or the Cavs lose in the conference finals, would they trade Darius Garland and Jared Allen and just
That's
be like,
that?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That's literally the exact package I was going to pitch you.
Yeah.
For my Cavs thing was like, would they trade Darius Garland and Jared
whatever
Allen?
picks they can?
Yeah, I don't.
And
think
then
they
you have Donovan
a lot.
Mitchell, Mobley, and Giannis.
I mean, like, I don't think that like the Bucks would keep them. I think there'd be like a third team involved,
Sure.
but I think Jared Allen and Darius Garland would like have value to someone in the
Sure.
league. I don't know what that team would be, but like somebody would do that.
If you want to go back to the Pelicans and be like, hey, we have Darius Garland
and Jared Allen.
Yeah, he would help both of them.
Yeah.
Can we get our picks back?
Can we get our picks back? Yeah, that'd be.
I just want my picks back.
I just want my family back.
I just want my kids back.
I just want my kids back. Like, that's
millennial
that's
TV reference.
That's a pretty interesting one. Would you do that? The Bucks picks Zion for Darius Garland and Jared Allen
from the Pelicans?
Yeah. You do that?
Definitely. Zion doesn't play games.
Yeah.
Pelicans is a no-brainer for me. Darius Garland, even if I think that Darius Garland might get exposed a little bit at the higher levels of the playoffs, what do I give a shit?
Yeah.
I'm the Pelicans, and we don't make the playoffs.
There is no higher level.
Yeah. Like what? Like, have they ever won a playoff series? One time.
Yeah, they beat the Blazers.
Yeah, that literally one time. Like, I wouldn't care about that.
Yeah.
And also maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Darius Garland goes on a run this year and makes me look stupid.
Dog, we're gonna have good slop this offseason.
We're literally looking at potentially getting 2 top 30 players all time getting traded in their prime in a calendar year. In a few months. Between Luka a few months ago and Giannis potentially this summer. We're eating good in the neighborhood.
CJ McCollum, I owe you an apology. I talked garbage on your name, King.
If he's involved in any of these trades, he's going to be like, God damn it, why did I do this?
Yeah. Did you have any other interesting teams you wanted to
we talked about the Knicks stabbing Jalen Brunson in the back when we had Noah Coleman on, but like, that seems unlikely to me.
I think they would need to do Cat too.
You think it would have to be Cat and Brunson?
Yeah, and maybe you get something else back because if there's like a.
At that point, I don't even know if the Bucks or the Knicks would be. I guess they'd still have OG Bridges and I don't know.
Hart. Yeah. And
I don't know what you would do with the Cat contract. That's every time a Knicks fan brings that up, I'm like, I think Cat was traded for the last time. Like,
you think so?
Once again, Cat's a good player. Nothing against Cat. It's just that he makes $60 million a year in a few years. Like, I don't think teams are lining up to take on those massive Bam, Cat, those contracts for players who are not A1 superstars like Giannis.
You know where I want to get Cat to in this trade as a third team? I kind of think Detroit could really use Cat.
We talked about that last offseason.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah, we did. No, literally thought the reason Troy Weaver was clearing cap space because we didn't know that he was going to get fired because he had just signed an extension.
Yeah.
We thought the reason he was clearing cap space was to make a run at Cat and help Minnesota get off money. But man, I've actually I've never been the highest on Jalen Duren, but I think you need a big like him. Maybe you upgrade that big, like if the Cavs traded Jared Allen, they could get involved in some capacity. Yeah. But like you need a screen and roll big with Cade.
Cat. With Cade, yeah. No, yeah.
It's like the Luka thing. I
think he plays power forward. I'm not saying Cat's the center. I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
I think he's the power forward, and he gives you some of the shooting, so you can still play Asar at small forward with Cade.
I'm doing the Trump.
The Trump. I that intrigues me. If I'm Detroit, I think about getting involved in that.
just from
Detroit showed me enough. It's not crazy to speed the timeline up a little bit. I thought if they did this last year, that's like a little crazy. They're like in the mix. Like
I think one of the bigger mistakes teams make is when they have like a surprising year like this, and just being like, no, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying what you're saying is right. I'm saying that I think just being like will naturally get better.
Yes.
Is the mistake that teams make a lot. I'm not saying you have to speed up the.
You don't have to go all the way in.
You don't have to go all the way. Like making a cat trade's a big move because, and also I just think from a karmic level, like the vibes. Like we just saw what happened when the Knicks got really excited and traded for Cat.
The Pistons still have like the Jaden Ivey card to play, and it's also like very funny going back and like listening to our podcast from like literally 2 weeks ago at how important I thought Ron Holland was going to be in this series, and he like literally doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean he's a rookie. That's
sure.
That's what I tried to say with like everyone who was like freaking out about all the rookies who have been bad in the playoffs or the play-in. I'm like, are rookies ever good in the playoffs or play-in? Like, no. I feel like you have to be either older or like an all-time player. Like Jason Tatum, sure, he was good as a rookie.
Yeah.
Okay, like most rookies are not good their first run in the playoffs. Like I can't remember many rookies being great in the playoffs.
Mobley was kind of bad.
Yeah, even Mobley was he was in his second year, but they lost in the play in his rookie year. But still, no, you're right. Like most guys are bad just straight up on their first appearance in the playoffs.
Yeah. Honestly, Cade's kind of beat those allegations a little bit. Like Cade hasn't been great, but I know he's turned the ball over like 7 times, but he's been like fine. I'm a huge Cade skeptic, and I've been very critical of him. I've been genuinely like very impressed. I thought he was going to be a disaster, and he's been like normal.
All right, I don't want to come across as a hater.
Okay.
Because it's really hard to be an offensive engine for the first time in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think the bar is like way too high for those guys.
Yeah.
And it's when you watch the games, it's clear he impacts the games at a minimum.
Yes, exactly.
But he averages like 6 turnovers a game, and I know he has the ball all the time, 7 turnovers a game.
Yeah,
and crazy. His true shooting is like 51 right now. Those things will get better at time. I just think that, and in their offense, their defense and their rebounding has been it's kind of a smaller version of the Brunson thing from last year.
Yeah.
Where Brunson was putting up all these crazy stats, but if you looked at the offensive rating, the only reason they were able to score points was because they were getting second and third chance opportunities. The Knicks offense happened to be much better than the Pistons offense for this playoff run. But the thing with Cade that's really impressed me is that he is very much not afraid of the moment.
And
I think that is something that you can hang your hat on, especially considering how good he was in the regular season.
I was like kind of not skeptical of his improvement, but I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'd like to see the playoffs. I was kind of reserving, heaping praise on Cade, but until I saw what it looked like in the playoffs, I've been genuinely very impressed. Like even because I thought this would be a fucking disaster, and he's been pretty normal. They're throwing a lot at him. They're doubling him like a lot. Like
he's the only guy who can dribble, pass, and shoot on the whole team.
He's missing shots, but we were talking about it on the stream last night. He's missing shots in a way where he's got 2 guys draped all over him. He gets it up over them, misses the shot, and they just put it back because the roll man is completely
watching the games feels different than looking at the stats. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, so I have to bring this up because I know people are going to ask me.
Sure.
And I don't think this is going to happen, to be clear. And I don't even know if I would want to do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if Daryl Morey is desperate to save his job, and the Sixers get a top 2 pick in this draft, hey, here's Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and the 2nd pick in the draft for Giannis. I don't think they would do it.
How about number 1?
The Flagg pick is where it gets really interesting. Because if it's Flagg, the team that gets Flagg, if it's one of these good teams, like the Spurs or the Sixers or the Raptors, who are like pretty good, Flagg is like the main trade piece. That becomes interesting if you're the Bucks.
That's what I'm saying. I think in this draft, I would trade. I would prioritize getting Flagg over like a lot of other things. Like if somebody was willing to give me Flagg.
Of course, if you're the Bucks, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
like absolutely. And there are a few teams I think would do it. I don't know, because of the Embiid thing, I don't think the Sixers would be one, because I think Morey would look at Flagg as the way to keep his job. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
the other thing that I think that like you have to consider, I'm like incredibly Dylan Harper pilled.
Okay.
But I'm recognizing that there's a chance that I'm being fooled.
Yeah.
Because guards who can't shoot and aren't high-level playmakers have chances of the bottom falling out. My whole argument with Dylan Harper is like, I think the worst case scenario for him is he's like a better like Spencer Dinwiddie or something, where he's just like a tall guard who can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And I think the best case scenario, he's like a taller Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. That's a good. I like that comp.
And that's like, that sounds pretty amazing. Now, if you're the Bucks, you have to take the sure. Like, I think if you're trading the best player, it would have to be like a Flagg level prospect for you to consider that as the core of it. Even though I really like Dylan Harper, because like I also like Scoot.
Yeah,
Harper has more margin for error than Scoot, I think, because he's 6'5".
I mean, you also with that package you said you get what you could do is you could keep Harper, flip Maxey to the Pelicans for your picks back. Try to get your picks back for Maxey.
I don't think there's enough picks to give up a player as good as Maxey. There's only like 3. It's like a swap and 2 firsts.
And maybe you ask for, I don't know, something else.
Because like, look, Maxey's an all-star. Like,
yeah,
and especially if you're getting, it becomes, my question becomes, is there any team that you think would trade Flagg for Giannis? And I think the answer is probably the Toronto Raptors. That is such a beside.
Oh my god, dude! Could you imagine that Raptors roster? Like, what do you think?
The Rockets. I just saw Nate said the Rockets with the Suns pick.
Oh, do they have? That's right. They have the Suns pick this year.
I think they would just take Flagg.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they would trade for Giannis. I think they would try to keep. I think they would say you're taking Jalen Green. We get Giannis. You use the pick as a way to kind of keep Şengün and you kind of get to pick. Man, that's diabolical. I don't know why that never occurred to me that like the Rockets are going to be picking pretty high this year or have like a shot to like win that. That would be vile. I guess they've never won the lottery though, technically, so it's not. Can't get too mad about that.
I'm trying to think. I think the Raptors are the only team that would do it because Masai is like such a pervert.
Yeah,
and he's like, we can get Giannis and then just fast track this thing.
Is Joe Tsai evil enough to make Will kill himself?
Like, no, I think Flagg's too big of a star potential name, and like the first time they'd ever have a franchise icon. Because even if Giannis goes to the Nets and wins a title, people will remember him for the Bucks more.
Yeah.
Like, and like Tsai cares a little bit about the fairy tale stuff. I think.
Yeah.
He cares about like the warm feelings, like having your own guy.
If that happened, I would just drive to New York and just be screaming for Will. Don't do it. Will.
Just running to the Empire State Building.
Yeah. No, I mean, tell me that is like such a Nets move though. That feels so Netsy in my soul, like trading Cooper Flagg for Giannis. And he immediately just lands on his back like the first playoff game. Just never.
All right, let me check Tankathon one more time. I just want to say, not for the Nets, because I still don't think the Nets would do it. I think the Nets will be interested in trading for Giannis, but I don't think they would trade Flagg for Giannis. All right, let's run down the teams and see if they would do it.
Okay.
The Jazz wouldn't.
No.
The Wizards wouldn't.
No.
The Hornets wouldn't.
Wait, are we sure the Wizards would? Greek night. You can have Greek night.
White American Heritage Night if you get Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, like a Maine night. Penobscot County night at the Forum. Anyway, sorry, continue.
The Pelicans wouldn't.
No.
The Sixers wouldn't because of the Joel thing. If Joel was healthy, I think they'd consider it. I don't think they would do it, though.
Okay.
The Nets, I don't think they would. The Raptors, I think, are the closest thing to yes.
It's so gross, dude. Could you imagine?
Everyone says, like, I don't disagree with Nate's idea that the Rockets might. But the Rockets have been kind of... You give a lot of shit to the Thunder, but the Rockets have never made a move.
This is their first year being good.
I agree, but I'm just saying they've been kind of like, and I'm fine with them being patient, to be clear.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the only thing they've ever done is sign free agents. They've never made a trade to make themselves better.
I think they're trading for Devin Booker. I think that's their plan. I think they'll kick the tires on Giannis. I think they want Devin Booker. I think that's why they got those Suns picks. I think they're targeting Devin Booker to be in the Jalen Green spot. And I think that's a pretty good plan, to be totally honest. Like,
we'll see. I highly doubt Ishbia trades him. But so Spurs, no, they would do Wemby and Flagg. They would just do that for a decade.
Yeah.
They would literally just be like, oh, cool, we got a better version of David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Great.
The rim protect. Can you imagine the rim protection?
I mean, come on.
That's foul. That's disgusting. And NBA media would be like, Stephen Castle's the secret sauce to this Cooper Flagg. Did you know Steph Castle's actually like really good?
Sam would be loading a gun every time Devin Vassell got a tweet.
I'm turning on Steph Castle so hard because of bloggers. I'm so reactionary about bloggers.
Do bloggers even like him that much? Is that a thing?
Yes.
I didn't. The only person I've ever heard jerk off Steph Castle is Zach, because Zach does that.
Yeah.
But Draymond Green is the other one that I heard talk up Steph Castle.
No, it's everyone who's like downstream of Zach who like cribs like, from him. Like it's everyone, because there's like a certain level of like blogger where you're like trying to make it, and I'm sympathetic to this because you're trying to make a living off writing and you need like a fresh angle.
Yeah. And
they always like pounce on like the Jalen Williams, like the stuff. It's like they try to be early on guys. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of, and we all try to do that to a certain extent, but there's a certain time when everybody's fucking doing it, and I'm so sick of hearing about that shit. Like, shut up, and we're
Did you think someone else should have won Rookie of the Year?
Yes.
Who?
Edie or Jalen Wells. Take your pick.
I'm fine with it. I don't really care. I mean, I
don't really care.
This year, once McCain was hurt and Montas only played like 15 minutes a game, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't really care. I mean, Edie, I think they're all in the top 5, 6, 7 players from this draft. And in a few years, it might look stupid, but like, whatever. Who cares? Like, I can't get.
I think the way it'll look out, I think McCain has the best upside, like of any of these guys we're talking about. So I think McCain is. If this one turns into like a Brogdon Rookie of the Year, that'll be why. Like,
yeah,
something like that.
I guess my question for you is, because we talked about this a little bit on stream last night. Do you think 2024 will be the first draft since, for sure, first draft since 2000 that has no Hall of Famers?
No, I think we get one somewhere. I don't know who it is.
Do you think it's either like Montas, McCain, Edie?
That's what I'm saying. It's somebody weird. Like McCain. I think McCain has like the best bet right now, but it's always so crazy today.
Sample's just so small.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We have no idea. It could be someone who like didn't play this year. Who's
could be,
yeah. I mean, if it is Castle, I'll take the L.
Castle's once again. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but he's won me over a little bit. Like, I think he's good. I was very low on him relative to consensus coming in, and I saw enough from him this year, and some of it was in Mickey Mouse March, so like might mean nothing. But I saw enough of him this year where I was like, I see the vision for sure. Like I think he has a higher ceiling than like Richiche.
I disagree with that. I don't.
So someone sent me yesterday in the Discord, JS, one of our resident sickos,
Jeremy Sohan, who's in the locker room.
It is Jeremy Sohan.
He's in the locker room with Steph Castle.
That's why he was talking up. That's why he was talking up Sohan.
Yeah.
He looked up unassisted 2-pointers and 3-pointers for rookies, and Richiche was up. It was basically Richiche was like for wings was like number 1 by a mile.
Yeah.
And all the other guys were bigs. They were all like Mitchell Robinson and like guys that are like just like finishing around the rim bigs, and then Riche. And once again, I think Riche is solid. Like I think he's going to have a good career. I also think he's probably just a role player based on that information. Like I don't think he ever becomes a creator. Castle at least has a pathway to become a creator.
I don't see it. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's meaningfully different from Riche's. I think both those guys are destined to be high-level role players, and I think Riche's archetype is so much more valuable than Castle's. I just, yeah.
You hate Marcus Smart so much. No, I don't even think he's as good on defense as Marcus Smart.
Yeah, I know.
But all right. So I'm still looking down. Just gonna finish up the lottery.
Finish up the lottery. Yeah.
Blazers? No, I think they just take Flagg. I think they just take Flagg. Yeah.
You know, you don't use it to get off the Grant contract. Get Giannis for Grant.
Salary dumping.
You get Giannis. I mean, it's not a straight up salary dump.
It's just funny to get the number 1 pick in the draft and be like, how do we get off the Jeremy Grant contract? Well, we can get Giannis too.
I don't think it's like crazy. They would be pretty good. Giannis, I don't think they do it. But they would be really like, think about that. Shaedon Sharpe, like you don't necessarily, it makes Scoot like a little expendable. You have Denny. You're going to be, you could use Ayton's contract in like some picks somewhere. You've got Kamara. I don't know. That's like, it's not nothing.
I don't think if they get Flagg, they're just going to take Flagg.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to get
although with their history, do you just take the sure thing?
Yeah. What if they get 2?
Well, that's the well. I've just determined that Harper isn't good enough. Like you'd have to throw in so much shit on top of Giannis if 2 was the main piece. Like to get Giannis, I mean,
use your own picks. What if you like traded your own picks?
I don't think they're. Well, they do have a Bucks pick that's far out. They did trade like a swap, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they have a couple. Don't they have a couple?
Let's finish. Let's finish the exercise.
Let's finish it. Okay. I'd think about it, I guess, is what I'm saying. I'd probably still not do it, but I'd think about it. That one's kind of close.
This is the real wild card.
The Kings.
The Mavericks. If Kyrie tore his ACL, though.
Yeah.
If Kyrie was healthy next year, and it was Cooper Flagg plus like Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, Clay, just that you're stacking, or you could just do AD and Flagg for Giannis.
Dude, that is such a fucking hilarious team.
We traded Giannis. We traded, or no, but Nate is saying AD and 1 for Giannis. I'm just laughing at the concept of trading Luka and Cooper Flagg for Giannis. They're salary dumping Anthony Davis already. They could technically trade Kyrie and Flagg for Giannis.
I think Flagg is good enough that you're just like, here's Derek Lively, here's
oh my god, just think about Giannis at the 3, AD at the 4, Derek Lively at the 5.
No, I'm saying Lively's going
5. I know. PJ Washington at the 2, Najee Marshall at the 1.
That is so foul, dude. Like
that's I need that. Let's please give me that.
So foul.
It's a funny circumstance. And then the last few Bulls, I could see Kartasovas being like, I gotta save my job.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but like Kartasovas
right
doing
down
the
road.
Timbaland, like, ooh.
I think Kartasovas is, to quote Bill Simmons, he's having a meeting.
He's having a meeting.
You gotta have at least a meeting, right?
Talks fall apart because they won't include Vooch.
Like, listen, Dalen Terry is off limits. He's my guy.
They don't want to put Josh Giddey in this side of trade deal. This guy was 30 a game in March.
Right. Well, if you trade one pervert, you got to get an ethical pervert back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Exactly. Giannis is at least ethical.
Giannis understands statutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. So, and then the last two were just the
Kings.
the Kings. The Kings would have to jump up to 1. That's not happening. And then technically,
would they do it though? We're ducking the question. Would they do it?
They'd 100% do it. I think. Vivek's like, I can get Giannis to pair with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
I kind of need that to happen. That's the funniest outcome.
That is
like that is like some real raise my rent shit for Giannis. Yeah. Like, okay, you were with the Bucks, this historically bedraggled franchise that's just been dog shit since the 70s, since Kareem. Let's give you fucking now go fix the Kings.
Giannis's lower body, I would be doing prayers for it every day if he got traded to the Kings. Because by the way, we make fun of the Kings for like the Halliburton trade. Think about how much worse that could have been for them. They almost traded Halliburton for Ben Simmons. Like, Daryl Morey can deny it all he wants. They definitely almost did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been. They're so funny, dude. They're our funniest franchise. I do think that the way that Flagg has been hyped up this cycle, though, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
But then again, what was the one time that it's ever happened was Wiggins. Because we could say now we know Wiggins isn't that, but like Wiggins was like hyped up as shit.
Yeah, people forget that like he was
getting Tracy McGrady comps.
They called him Maple Jordan. Like, yeah.
And he got traded for Kevin Love because they got LeBron.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about, because I think what's important is, what does the shadow GM Jeremy Lamb think of? I am shocked by how, like, Zach is like usually pretty measured, and a lot of like the NBA people are like pretty measured about what they like go on record with like rumors and stuff. I'm surprised how often people are willing to say that Jeremy Lamb has like power in the organization, which is awesome.
The Lamb gyro.
Let's go.
Sacramento.
That's
Have you heard this one?
Cook.
What does Jeremy Lamb know? I don't know anything about Jeremy Lamb except he played on Connecticut and he was traded for 2 Hall of Famers. He's involved in trades for 2 Hall of Famers.
Long time.
I'm assuming Halliburton is making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yes, probably. God, he was in that trade too?
It was Jeremy Lamb. So it was Buddy Hield and Halliburton for Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday.
Ooh, depressing. Anyway, and what was it? What's the last team? It's the
I think that was the Hawks? The Spurs again.
Oh yeah,
they own the Hawks pick this year.
Hawks pick, yeah. Ooh, depressing.
By the way, the Spurs Jake Fisher said they might be interested in Kevin Durant. I'm like,
horrific.
Why?
Yeah.
like, look, KD's amazing, but like, I feel like they're just interested in everyone all the time. Like, is there any plan or vision, or are they just kind of go with vibes?
I think they're kind of like the Patriots. We were having this like argument on stream last night about, I was saying the Patriots are like quietly like a pretty dog shit organization. I think the Spurs are very similar. Where I think that they have kind of a reputation because of like Tim Duncan and like they had the Kawhi development.
Yeah, the new era is not. They haven't shown any form of competency really.
Like all they did is like take the best guy. Like they took the generational number 1 that anyone would have taken. It's like the only good thing they've done. Like, awesome. You gave Devin Vassell $35 million a year. Sick. Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, yeah. That's why every time they're involved in a trade, I'm like, who do they have to trade? I like the Fox move for them just because I was like, okay, cool. You got another good player to play with Wemby finally. Sure. Like, there's a positive. He has another good player to play with him. Like, and you only gave up bad players to do it. So I'm fine with that. But I agree. I agree that their reputation is far beyond what it should be based on their moves so far. Like, they haven't done anything.
They haven't done jack shit. Like, and they quietly, like, they haven't been very good at draft. Like, their best draft pick Like DeJounte is like a developmental thing, and I guess they got like good value for him.
That's
But he's
also a
like,
holdover from the last era. RC Buford was still there.
oh yeah.
Their
Oh, I
new
didn't even
GM is
realize
Brian
RC.
Wright.
I didn't even realize RC Buford
He
wasn't
stepped
there
down like
anymore.
3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was a little washed at the end too. Lucas, what was his name? Lucas Samanich, was not a good
Yeah.
pick. Josh Primo, even with the off the court stuff not considered in and all that shit,
Bad
was
pick.
a bad pick.
They
Like, that
did
was
pick Derek White, but like they
that
also
was
traded
also the
him
last
for not
front
that much.
office.
Yeah.
And then the
yeah.
new front office traded him.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
what
think it
happened
was
there.
around the same time that RC Buford
Ah.
stepped down. I could be wrong. He's like in a different role with the organization now, but Brian Wright's the one who's running shit.
I think what confused me is they had a whole article about RC Buford's like wife sending him
I'm
the
sorry,
chair for
Brian
the
Wright's
Luka
been
draft.
gone for 6 years. There's someone else there. Who is the new guy then?
I think because
Been the man. Sorry, he's been the man. It's RC Buford's been out.
Okay.
I don't know if he's done it. Like, I think Castle won Rookie of the Year. Like, that's a good pick, but like in a weak draft, the Rob Dillingham move, TBA.
Yeah.
Like, they traded Rob. They got at least a high value pick.
I'm starting to think Connolly is like God. Like I don't like
don't test Conley.
I was gonna say because I didn't love that move for the Wolves, but every time I don't love a Wolves move, fucking God Conley styles on me, dude. Like I'm not gonna cross God Conley. Like he says Rob Dillingham's good. Rob Dillingham's good. Like
he literally. Did you ever see the clip? I can't remember who it was that was like Conley and Chris Finch just pulled up clips of Rob, and they were like, "Dude, this guy's a hooper." Like, he's so hooper built. Like, he loves hoopers.
The fact that like Julius Randle is like having this playoffs just makes me think like Tim Conley. That's an all-time heat check move from a GM. Like putting Julius Randle on your playoff team. And Rudy Gobert. You have a front court of Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, and you're stomping out Luka Doncic and
for the Hooper GM to trade for Rudy Gobert is the funniest possible thing.
Yeah.
Because so our resident Julius Randle stan is here to hold us accountable. It was obvious to smart people. But the Randle the Randle thing. Here's the thing I'll say about Randle. Ball don't stop likes him. He's got a little hooper in his game. He's a mid-range guy.
Yep.
It's not the cleanest game, but he does have all of their like basketball players have like a little bit of hooper DNA. Like Jalen McDaniels is like a Seattle guy.
Jaden McDaniels
is like a Seattle guy. Like he's like one of those like Northwest hoopers that plays with like Paulo and all those guys.
Yep.
Naw is Shea's cousin.
Yep.
Like they all have the hooper DNA, even if they're like basketball players. Naz Reid is a hooper.
Yeah, Naz Reid hooper. Naz Reid is like he's like the platonic ideal of the hooper role player. Like I don't think you can't be a role player and a hooper the way that he is. Like it's insane how.
Sometimes I catch Naz Reid on the right night and I'm like, give Naz Reid his own team.
Seriously, it's insane how good Naz Reid is, dude. Like
dude, if you put Naz Reid in 1995, he would win MVP. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
A big man with that handle, like I'm like, there's no way he wouldn't change the league.
Naz Reid had to be like, yeah, you can trade Cat. Who fucking cares? Like, and I think that was right. Like.
I think he's part of their best lineup too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
The brilliance of the Timbers. So that was the thing that I think I underestimated. We've talked a little bit about the Lakers. A few things that I was convinced. I said in close games I trusted the Nuggets more than the Clippers and the Lakers more than the Timberwolves. What I didn't consider is that both the Nuggets and the Lakers are thin.
Yeah.
So they have to play their guys like 45 minutes a game just to stay in games. Whereas the brilliance of the Wolves roster build, and even the Clippers to a little bit, like to another extent, is that they have so many guys they can play that they're like, Rudy Gobert plays like 20 minutes a game. Yeah. He's shooting 10% on layups in the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Did
you see what Jonathan just sent? This like
the best lineup in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's small
is
sample size, but it's
Ant.
literally double the second place team, which is the Cavs.
It's Ant, Dante, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid.
Yeah.
In 22 minutes. I think Zach actually brought up that stat on his podcast.
I mean, that is still insane because the Cavs are goated.
Cavs are running through. Well, and once again, this isn't even Darius Garland slander. It's more how good is Ty Jerome?
Yeah, really.
Because they are running people off the court when he's on fire.
Yeah.
And he has caught fire at least in the first round, which is actually a good transition to what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Which is the biggest sweep in the history of the NBA. The biggest sweep in the history of the NBA happened in round 1. A point differential in 4 games of plus 122, the Cleveland Cavaliers over the Miami Heat. Do you want to guess what second place is? It was a series that happened in 2019. I'll give you a hint.
2019 series. I'm going to guess the Warriors against the Pelican. No, who did they play in round 1?
It was the Bucks versus the Detroit Pistons in 2019 when Blake Griffin played with a fucked up knee, and they won by a point differential of plus 95 in 4 games. The Cavs won by plus 122 in 4 games. I've liked the Cavs this year. I underestimated how death mode they can go when they're cooking. The amount of pull-up shooting they have, like everyone on that team is a pull-up shooter.
Yeah.
They can all shoot. Like the thing with the Celtics, we've talked about like the drive and kick, the offense being built around the wings, the 5-out spacing, all that stuff. The only difference is that the Cavs have a bunch of guys that can legit create off the dribble, and Ty Jerome, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, DeAndre Hunter. Like they just have guys who can handle the ball and shoot. And even Mobley had a pull-up 3 in that game the other night. Like they sneakily have a very well-built modern NBA team for the playoffs and a death machine offense at times that I think will really challenge the Celtics when they get there. I think the Pacers have a puncher's chance. I think they'll beat the Pacers. But I think I picked the Cavs in 6 before. But this Cavs team has been, I mean, not that I thought the Heat could have stole a game or 2 off of them. I think I picked them to beat them in 5 originally, and I went back on it. And they hung with them for 2 games. But man, once the Cavs got rolling, this was
over.
Yeah.
Did we do second round picks? Because I don't remember doing that. Anyway,
we did a sum up. We forgot to do it, and then we did. We like summarized it on our on the Patreon episode.
Thing. Okay, all right. I don't like that one. I know before I probably would have said like the Cavs would be like a closer series. I'm pretty alarmed as a Celtics fan at how good the Cavs look, and how mortal the Celtics kind of look. Now, I do think Orlando is like a really bad matchup for the Celtics. Like the Celtics before game 4, they hadn't won in Orlando since like 2022.
We talked about it. It's a weird matchup for them.
Yeah.
It's a weird matchup for them because of the fact that they just have a bunch of strong, big guys who switch a ton.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few, because the way that the Celtics kill you is they get you in rotation.
Yes. Yeah.
And the Magic don't go into rotation. They just switch.
Yeah.
And that at times at least bogged down their offense more than we've ever seen the Celtics offense bogged down. Now, some of it was they weren't fully healthy. Some of it was Porzingis went CTE mode.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is like right now the Cavs have pretty good health luck.
Yep.
The Celtics haven't had the same health luck so far in the playoffs that they had last year. Also, part of that might just be they weren't taking the Magic all that seriously.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe but I don't think
plays if it's closer. But yeah.
And I don't think the Cavs and Tatum missed a game. Like, I don't think the Cavs took the Heat all that seriously.
Yeah, that would be.
Darius Garland sat the last 2 games and they fucking destroyed them.
Yeah.
And the thing that I look at with this Heat team, moving forward, which we already did the Heat funeral when Jimmy Butler got traded. You did your little victory lap. But I do just want to remind you, even though the Cavs, give them their flowers, great regular season team, just destroyed their combined record is like one of the greatest ever through the first round. I have to hand it to them.
Yeah.
The Heat were the 10 seed.
Yes.
Let's remember that part. They were very clearly the worst team in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Yes.
And the one thing that the Cavs did really well was that they exposed a Tyler Hero led offense. Not that the Tyler Hero led offense was great in the regular season, but Tyler Hero in the play-in was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And had one game in this series where he looked like that same player, and they did a great job other than that defending him.
Yeah.
Bam has made some really weird comments in the media.
Woo.
Did you see the latest one?
No, I missed that.
Oh man. All right. So I saw after the game. I saw after the game that there will be a lot of changes, he said, because of how Pat Riley works. And then today, Bam made a comment about Pat Riley and kind of, I would say, threw a subtle shot at Pat Riley, which second time in a calendar year that Bam has, or that a star on the Heat has made a shot. He said, at the end of the day, I want to win. So I can't go into the logistics of the tweaks. That's more of a Pat Riley question. And I hope you can ask that question to him. Hopefully he doesn't blow you off.
Ooh.
Second time that a star, who the other one, obviously, they traded in Jimmy Butler. And now Bam is throwing a little bit of shots. So where do the Heat go from here?
Hell. Seattle. Contract the franchise. Miami's just kind of a football town, man. Like, they're kind of a hockey town. You know, everybody's excited about the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to kind of just get rid of that Heat franchise, unfortunately. You try to make basketball work in Miami.
Didn't work. We had a good run.
Didn't work. Look at how good their teams were, and it was still empty 2 minutes into every playoff game. Like,
even when they were good.
Yeah. So, you know, like, they've got it's tough to compete when the Panthers have the Chuck brother, you know, like, so they don't have a star. They can't compete with that. So I guess it's time to move them to Vancouver, the Vancouver Heat. Good luck.
Well, the one tough thing is the one thing we do know about Miami is they really hate when you seize their property.
What a government oversight agency comes and takes the property away from them.
So yeah, this whole thing is kind of a mess with the Heat now. Pat Riley, at least you taught Jimmy Butler a lesson, I guess. At least you really showed him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat Riley, for trading me to a better team that is going to win a playoff series.
This is like the ultimate listen up liberal meme. Listen up, liberal, cries, trades Jimmy Butler, immediately ruins franchise.
Instead of helping your franchise icon and just paying him, now you've owned the libs, and Jimmy is happy with Golden State, potentially winning a playoff series, maybe even more here coming up. And so we have all right. The Miami Heat are the first team in NBA history. I'm just going to read a few more of these stats because I know they'll make you happy. The Miami Heat are the first team in NBA history to lose back-to-back playoff games by more than 30 points. Jesus Christ. The Cavs have that's the largest. I already read that one.
Yep.
They played both games at home. They had a 37-point loss in game 3 and a 55-point loss in game 4.
Look, man, you go into FTX Arena, you got to be ready to perform. I'm always calling it FTX Arena for the rest of my life.
Just like Staples Center, you're like, I'm not going back.
Well, that one's always. Are they still crypto? Is that still crypto.com?
Yeah, it is. It's crypto. The crypto.
That's so funny that it's still crypto. Like, that's awesome. I love that. Perfect branding. So
keep in mind, the Miami Heat have no pick this year. They don't have control of their picks in 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, or 2029. They can't trade them. So that's a good start.
Wait, and this is a good scenario. What just happened for them, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this is actually the better scenario for them.
They do have one extra Warriors pick from the Jimmy trade, which I'm assuming is to take on the bloated corpse of Andrew Wiggins, who was horrible in the playoffs. And everyone is mad at him now because they put him on a team where he had to be a creator and he's not a creator.
Yeah.
It's almost like we have evidence of this.
It's so crazy that the second he wasn't a role player anymore, it got God, it makes me so mad my team lost the fucking title because Andrew Wiggins went God mode, saw Jesus. He heard the fucking Father Stretch My Hands chorus for fucking 6 games. God damn it. Anyway.
It's basically the opposite of the Ben Simmons thing where Ben just stopped caring about and Ben. They stopped caring about basketball. Wiggins just decided to care about basketball for like 3 weeks and was like one of the best players in the NBA.
It's amazing.
So Rozier and Duncan Robinson have 1 year left. Wiggins has 2 years left, I believe. And I don't really know where they go from here. 3rd straight year in the plan. They had their Mickey Mouse run 2 years ago to the finals. They've lost in the first round in destructive fashion for 2 years. Some people have said, are they going to rebuild? And I'm like, Pat Riley doesn't really do rebuilds. Is he retiring? Are we finally getting Spo taking over as general manager?
I feel like he only retired. Pat Riley strikes me as a guy who retires when he's dead.
Yeah.
I think he's dying in that office.
Watching his live stream from his Malibu beach house.
I'd like to soft launch a new bit I've been working on. It's called Pat Riley Brandon. He's just gonna. I think that's the thing. Come on, man. When I sat there and I told LeBron, I put the rings on the table and I said, LeBron James, you're gonna come play for. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, man. I didn't. God. Bam here. He's a registered Republican. I'm gonna teach him how to do some of this stuff. You're looking up at look at that thing. He won the Olympics.
I think they were born the same year.
Pat Riley and Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that's right. I might be wrong on that, but I'm almost positive Pat Riley and Joe Biden were born in the same year.
You talk. I'm going to find out this very important information.
I mean, he was a player in the 70s. He played basketball. So that means he was in his 20s or 30s in the 70s. And then he coached in the 80s. I think him and Biden were born in the same year. I think they're both like 80. Am I right?
Okay, so they are both 80. Pat Riley is exactly 80. Joe Biden is 82. So it's 42 and 45. Joe Biden was born in November of 42. Pat Riley was born in March of 45.
What time in March of 45? So Hitler?
No, November of 40.
Hitler was
42
dead
and
for a
then
few
March
months.
of 45 for Pat Riley. Pat Riley, March of 45.
Pat Riley was 23 years old when Martin Luther King died. Thank you for that fun fact.
It's was he old enough to hold the gun? I'm just saying. Look into it. Do the math. He was in Miami. I'm just saying they had a field office. The FBI had a field office there. What's the Jabuki tweet that he has about
the CIA?
No, I think it's the FBI. He says, just because we killed Martin Luther King doesn't mean we can't miss him.
Yeah.
The fake. That was the one that got him suspended because remember when being verified meant something, he would use his verification to like.
Right. And then he would get it revoked. And then,
you just get suspended.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So
Pat Riley was 40 when Len Bias died. That's insane, dude. Jesus Christ.
I mean, we did this with Hubie Brown once, which is one of the craziest things. My favorite fun fact was that Hubie Brown could drive a car the first year of the NBA. It's NBA's first year, Hubie Brown was old enough to drive a car.
Doug, I wish I could Google. I wish I could Google Nets Daly's birthday. Because
he's 80. He's the same age as Pat Riley.
Pat Riley.
He died. He was born a few months before the end of World War II.
Okay, gotcha. I guess what I'm saying here is I think Nets Daily should have been our president. We would live if
He was
Nets
a
Daily
politics
was.
guy.
I, by the way, Nets Daily is sharp as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Remember,
For an
everyone was always
80-year-old, he's
talking
posting
about
still.
Brandon. He would be so much better than Brandon. He would have
Yeah.
killed the debate. Like, anyway, I guess what I'm saying is I'm endorsing 2028. I'm endorsing Nets Daily.
Just don't read his LinkedIn page, who he worked for in the past, and you'll totally agree with everything.
It's fine. Everyone's got a little something in their closet, you know?
Unbelievable. Okay, this is.
Sorry, I read Jonathan saying that the first election Hubie Brown could vote in was for Dwight Eisenhower.
Oh my god, dude! Absolutely insane. Wild facts, dude.
Wearing the I like Ike pin.
And he was still good. Like he was still like his last few years, he was still like he was like better than your average NBA announcer.
Okay, hold on. New pivot. Hubie Brown, obviously very cognizant for his age, was still calling games earlier this year. That's Daily. Much smarter and better at everything than Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Posting and liking basketball makes you a brain genius.
You got to stay engaged.
You've got to stay engaged. So
they say you got to do what you love, and then the second that you quit your job, your brain will turn to mush.
So what I'm saying is that subscribing to the You Know Ball Patreon is actually a form of healthcare. You can use your HSA to pay for your your health savings account. You can use funds from that and your Patreon receipts to pay out of that. And
it's good for your mental health.
Tax-free. Yep. It's tax-free. It basically pays for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't actually do this because then I'll go to jail.
As an NBA content creator, I'm allowed to write off NBA League Pass. So all you have to do is do what we do and just cover other media and just have like a podcast called like You Know Ball. And then summarize You Know Ball every week. It's just, Sam and Trill talked about Bill and Zach this week, who talked about the Warriors and the Rocket series.
There's that one podcast that's just Owen and SH covering Peter and Dredd, covering
lower down the pyramid.
Fucking over and over.
It's basically. Have you ever heard of Talk Tua? But for You Know Ball. And there you go. And then you write it off. This is not tax evasion, by the way.
This is totally legal.
This is real. Don't audit me.
Oh my god. Jesus. An hour and 45 minutes in, and we've gotten to 1.5 of the teams that got eliminated.
Well, what do the Heat do?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah, the BAM contract is just hot garbaggio.
Let's run down their team. Okay, let's just because I want to talk about what they can do. Unless they someone said, could they trade for Kevin Durant?
Maybe,
but what? Andrew Wiggins, Duncan Robinson, and the only pick they can trade for Kevin Durant, and
you could do Terry Rozier instead, right?
Sure, but would the Suns want another guard? I mean, I know Duncan Robinson also is, but he's like a spacer. But they also have Grayson Allen still. What's the difference between them? I don't know.
True, yeah.
I don't. Oh, well, I guess they could do Khalil Ware. Andrew Wiggins, and a first-round pick for Kevin Durant.
I don't like that.
I just don't think they're going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think you quietly explore BAM trades and kind of work for it. Tyler Hero might have. This might be the time to trade Tyler Hero. I know he's coming off a great year. I think you want to trade Tyler Hero coming off a good year instead of a bad year.
So here's the thing: he made the All-Star team this year.
Yep.
Pat Riley, if he's still the GM, will not trade Tyler.
Will not. Yes, 100%.
If he retires, there's a chance they sell high, and they say there might be a team out there that gives us real stuff for Tyler Hero, and we're Miami, so we can just figure out a way to get a real star eventually.
Yeah.
The way that Pat Riley has done things, he doesn't do that. He's like, I called out Tyler Hero. He owned me. I respect him now. The only way you can gain Pat Riley's respect is to own him.
Yeah.
And Tyler Hero did that.
You have to dominate him.
Yes, exactly. Pat Riley is a sub.
He's a sub, yeah.
He's not a Patreon sub, but he is just a general sub.
He should be a Patreon sub.
Yeah, he should. He would learn some things if he just listened to us.
Yeah. Check in.
Don't be a loser who's fucking just benefiting off of your draft scouts and Jimmy Butler saving your reputation the last decade. Because the how Miami operates is they think that they're just going to get a star eventually.
Yes.
To come there 100%. In free agency, or they'll buy low on them. I don't think they'll be in on Kevin Durant. I think they'll definitely be in on Giannis. I ultimately don't think they'll have enough to get Giannis.
Yeah.
And I think that they should probably explore trades for both Bam and Hero and consider a rebuild.
They have like a decent start to a rebuild. Like I think Jovic, I know he didn't really play him. Don't make that
come
face.
On. Jovic for a rebuild? Like a core piece?
Not a core piece, but I think he could be a starter. Like you have Ware.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not nothing. He's really young. He's like still 21.
Look, I like Ware, but like if you're going into a rebuild, it's because you want to. The problem with Miami is they will never want to be actively even like remotely bad.
Yeah, I don't think they would in the East. I guess if you trade Hero, I don't know that trading Bam makes them that much different. To be totally honest.
I mean, what are they getting back for Bam? Because this is the thing. If like they truly want to go in a rebuild, here's what their pick situation is. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
They're giving away their pick to OKC this year, so that's just out of the picture. It doesn't matter anymore. You pay the debt. Then they have their pick next year, but they can't trade it because they owe a top 14 pick protected the next year. But it's top 14 protected. So if you want to be bad for 2 years, this is the time to do it.
They should just do it next year. They should trade all the stuff because there's like 3 really good guys in the next draft. Like if you're really bad, I understand the risk but it's top 14 protected next year. So who cares? You wouldn't have even sent that this year.
They're so far away from like reaching those, like the teams that have leaped them so much that like they'd have to nail 3 straight off seasons to even get in the same conversation as Boston and Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, 100%.
And like the Magic will probably leap them now.
I think they have to try. I think Tyler Hero, I think you could get good value for Tyler Hero. I think the move would be to trade Tyler Hero right now. Kick the tires on Bam. I don't think Bam's contract is too big. I don't think you're going to get like.
I think you could still get good stuff for Bam. I think that you're underestimating how perverted GMs are about Bam.
Maybe, yeah. What would your Bam trade be? Like, what do you think? Like, everyone has a center, like, and I don't think the Pelicans, but basically besides the Pelicans and the Lakers, and I don't think they have the stuff.
The Lakers don't have enough.
Yeah.
Sure. Let me cook on this for a second. Let me just stew in my mind, pals. What teams need a center?
That's not a lot.
It isn't. That is true.
Yeah.
The Raptors, the Spurs. God. Yeah, but you might be right.
Yeah, like it's like 60 million. It's like $50 million to get it going up to 60. Like that's just a lot of money to like.
You could include Austin Reeves for Bam. I would definitely do that if I were the Lakers. I don't think Austin Reeves.
That package? It's Reeves and
like 2 first-round picks and then whatever salary to make it work.
I was gonna say, what's the salary though? Because all their like Rui, it kind of makes you thin if you're like including Rui. Like
I'm coming.
They have, home. I guess they have Gabe
coming
Vincent
home.
Makes it decent
With Gabe Vincent.
Yeah. Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt, but like.
No, Jared Vanderbilt's contract is like already one of the worst in the NBA.
Yeah, I know.
It has 3 years left. Kleber's expiring next year. Because remember, they got him in the Luka trade.
Yeah. Okay, so they have like enough. That's interesting. I wonder. The Lakers picks. If you want to go Nico mode, if you think that Luka is a fat piece of shit. And you want to take the Lakers picks.
Pat Riley is fat phobic.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pat Riley, famously also a body shaming icon.
Yeah.
He might take that gamble. He might be like, yeah, I think these picks. I mean, he's not going to because he's dying and he's not going to trade far out picks for trade a good player right now for far out picks. But if they move on to like a different GM, that's not nothing. And I think the Lakers would give you everything for Bam.
I'm just getting nauseous thinking about the Zach podcast we're gonna have to get when Pat Riley retires this offseason.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Ugh.
I'm
gonna have him on the podcast, and he's gonna have to heavily edit it. Pat Riley's talking about being in Memphis. So it's a callback. It's a
yeah, I got it. I get it.
Okay.
I can't think of a team right now.
Okay.
But there is a team. You're underestimating how perverted people are about Bam.
No, you're right. I mean, I know the perverts. We have it like the dunker spot guys love Bam. None of this was Bam's fault. Bam is innocent. Like,
look, when you
I know there's like smart NBA people who like him. Like, yeah. But
yeah,
I just
I still think Bam would be a good second. Like, he would be amazing with Luka.
That would be good. I actually kind of like that. Like, that trade actually makes a lot of sense to me, to be totally honest, because he's like kind of a facilitator. Like, you know, you're clearing out some of the stuff. Like, yeah.
I will say though that like if you give up, I'm just saying whenever Rudy Gobert like has a bad defensive series or gets cooked by Luka Doncic on the perimeter, it's like everyone's like killing Rudy on Twitter, and like I don't want to defend Rudy because I'm not handing it to ISIS. But, like, I didn't see a single tweet about Bam. And the Cavs just had the greatest offensive series in the history of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you have the defensive player of the year, like, you might be at Spo cooking up schemes. You would think.
Buzz Lightyear meme, Tyler Hero did it again, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All Tyler. Well, Darius Garland did say we just go at Tyler Hero every single time. So, was he cooking?
Was he cooking? I just mean they have like some young players, like, you know what I'm saying. I know it became very out of vogue to like be in on Jovic this year. I still like.
I don't think Jovic is bad. I'm just saying if you're talking about a rebuild, like I want to have better.
I like Ware a lot.
Yeah, Ware's good.
I like Ware too. I think Ware could be like a third best player on like a good team, on a really good team. And I think that Jovic could be a starter. And that's the start of something, you know, like, and those guys are both really young. They're both like 21. So it's pretty easy to like ease into a rebuild at that point. Get those guys playing together. So
I already did the Giannis Heat fantasy trade, but I already said it earlier, which is Bam to a third team, and then everything they can trade young picks and player wise to the Bucks. But I don't think that that's enough. Yeah. I don't think that there is there's nothing that they can do with that.
You can't. You've got to go band for band with the Rockets and the Thunder, and you can't do that. Like,
but the funny thing about the Heat is that in theory, I talked about this a little bit. Teams that draft well and find guys on the margins should be crushing it in this era. Like, we're moving into an era where that's more important than it's ever been. We're seeing it with the Wolves right now. We're like, they just have like 9 playable players, and it's great for them because, and the Heat kind of might have been a little bit ahead of the curve with this.
Yeah, they definitely were.
Where they were a better playoff team than they were a regular season team every year because they always had these weird different lineups they could throw at guys, and the rest of the league kind of caught up to them.
Yeah.
So I think that the whole like no shitters thing is a big advantage for Miami if they can continue to find these guys on the margins, but you still at the end of the day need one core piece. It doesn't have to be a top 3 player, but you got to have a top 12 player to build something around. And they had that with Jimmy Butler, and now they're going to be searching for that until they find the next guy. And I'm sure they will, but here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do Bam for Zion and the picks? The Bucks.
I have used Missy. I have used Missy. I wouldn't include the Bucks picks for it. I don't think. I also am one of the only perverts who still likes Zion. Like I still value Zion. I know most people are treating it like a, you know, basically a free amnesty clause. I still think Zion could be good. And I don't want Zion in Miami because if anyone can do it, it's those fucking freaks that would like hook him up to the Juvenation machine. Like they would put Zion in the room with what's his name, Ashton, the guy who does the morning routines with the ice bucket in the face. They would just have Zion with him, like waking up at like Ashton Hall. Thank you. He'd just be waking up at 3 a.m, doing their insane runs. The Ashton Hall run with his like weird little vest on, where he's just going as fast as he can, and then they go out for dinner at a steakhouse for that gets brought out with like sparklers, and it's like in a wooden box on ice. Like, but that's all Zion's allowed to eat. Like, I'm that would be a disaster because Zion would actually be good for the Miami Heat, and I need that franchise to be in piss and shit for a half decade. So
I think if you're trading away Bam, that's the kind of gamble you have to take if you're Miami.
If you want to, I think that's the move if you want to try to stay competitive.
Which they always will. That they don't tank.
And they do. Yeah.
And they even, to be fair, they also could. There's a world where they could tank in this snenario too. Where like Zion, look, do I think Zion is a better player than Bam? Yes. Bam plays games. It has to matter at a certain point that Zion only plays 30 games a year.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is the year. I think Zion's getting traded this offseason, and it's going to be for something that makes us all go, wow. Loser Bam shoots threes. God damn it.
Well, this was because people were saying that like the Celtics could try to buy low on Bam, which the Miami Heat would never make that trade.
I mean, there are people. Trey wants that very badly. I love Trey. I am not joining him on that.
I would absolutely do that if I were the Celtics. This is why. Hear me out. Everything works out for you guys. Bam will just become a 3-point shooter if you get him. You can act like it doesn't. You could do the woe is me thing.
I'm not doing the woe is me thing.
It would obviously work out for you guys.
I just don't think like for anything. I don't know if I would want to trade. Like, why are they trading us Bam for like Porzingis? I feel like we'd have to trade them like Jaylen Brown, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I was going to say the Miami Heat, if they're trading Bam, I think I just don't buy that they're going to be like, let's get picks and prospects.
I think Pat Riley, speaking of things Pat Riley wouldn't do, he would never give the Celtics anything good.
Exactly. That's why I was saying that.
Yeah.
Also, I think my prediction is that one of Hero or Bam gets traded this offseason. But I think it's for win now players. I don't think they go into the tank.
Really? Wow. That would be a disaster. I think if they traded Hero for like if they traded Hero to like Orlando for like some interesting stuff, I think that would be like really cool and interesting.
Right, let's cut this part. I don't want Mateo to mail you a pipe bomb.
He doesn't want Tyler Hero?
No, he hates Tyler Hero with like his life.
I get it. I also hate Tyler Hero. That's like a custom-made situation for Tyler Hero.
So like, I agree.
Yeah.
But also I'm still buying into the philosophy that if they get a guard, it has to be someone who isn't a total turnstile.
Yeah.
Like they have to be at least passable on defense because that breaks the link in the chain for their defense, and their playoff defense has potential to be really special.
How about this? Tyler Hero for Trey.
I don't think Miami would do it. I don't think they like Trey. I think it would raise their floor.
I think that's like a really interesting one. If you give Trey Bam, like
I know, I like that fit with those two.
I think Tyler Hero was like technically better than Trey this year, but I think Trey is a better player. I think that you try to cash in the one good Tyler Hero season to like get a better player. Like try to trick the Hawks right now while everyone's
it's an interesting theory. I just could never see the Heat trading for Trey.
I think they also don't like each other. I think there's like a pretty strong like rivalry there, like franchise wise.
So yeah, let's move on for the Heat. I just don't really think. I think that Pat Riley has proven time and time again that he's just a stubborn old bastard.
Yeah,
like he literally could have traded Jimmy Butler for real value and shot himself in the foot.
Yeah,
he's an idiot.
To teach Jimmy Butler a lesson. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, awesome. Then you fucked up your whole season because of it. Had to sell low on Jimmy, and here we are. You dumbass. God, he's so fucking overrated, dude.
Yeah, he sucks.
Jimmy Butler saved his fucking legacy.
Seriously. God. Really did.
Drives me fucking insane. Anyway, the Magic are the easiest solve in the NBA, though.
Yes.
They also lost to the Celtics. They actually put up a pretty decent fight. They took them to 5. They were in, 3 of those 5 games, you would say? Last night, they kind of let go of the rope.
Yeah.
But the Magic are a team that has 2 first-round picks in this draft. One for the Nuggets, and they have their own. And they either have to do a move where they wait for a guard to fall to them in this draft, which right now they are projected to pick 16th. They're projected to pick 25th. Tankathon has them taking Noah Essengay.
Ooh.
But I think he's going to rise up boards.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be at 16.
That's also kind of a weird fit with the Magic, to be totally honest. I
would do it just for the talent ups.
I mean, he is one of the more talented players.
And he's also such a Magic pick.
I felt real affinity. I was like, that's why you and I are podcast co-hosts. When you said that the guy that you liked in this draft was Noah Essengay, that was like who I had in the. That's our guy.
He's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And the thing with him is that he fits. They're like the wingspan pervert team.
They really are. They really are.
They love an athletic toolsy guy who has a questionable shot. I think that he ends up going too high for them.
Yep.
Another thing that people have brought up to me, Danny Wolf from Michigan. They always draft Michigan guys because of they have like a connection, I guess.
I don't like Danny Wolf. Maybe I turn myself around on it, but I also just don't. They just need a guard. So, I mean, I guess you probably don't want to draft for a like talented guard. Like that's the issue is like a scoring guard. You probably just want to get a proven guy in there.
Well, they could get Walter Clayton later. That's who they're projected to get with the 25th pick right now.
Oh, Dyson Daniels, one most improved. Let's go. Well deserved. Well deserved. Let's go.
That's interesting. I thought it was going to just. This is the first time we've had this in so long where it didn't go to like the Maxey or the. I thought Cade was going to get it.
Yeah, I think I applaud that because I think we should do that more often. I think most improved should not go to guys who are all stars.
I think most improved should definitely go to guys who like aren't like top 10 picks. You know, like Dyson Daniels.
Okay. There's a huge difference between being picked at 9 and being picked first overall.
I agree.
Like, come on.
I do agree. I also think people understood how much better Cade was this year. Because people were like, it's ridiculous. He was the number 1 pick. And I'm like, yeah, but he was kind of bad for like a year and a half. And then he was like legitimately very good this year.
Yeah.
Made the All-Star team. He's probably going to make All-NBA.
Yeah.
I think that leap that Cade made is very, very impressive. But
yeah. I agree. No, I 100% agree. He officially owned me. Like this season, he officially owned me. The apology is as loud as the disrespect right now because he was the punching bag for 3 fucking straight years on this podcast. I'm owned.
But I think even the Cade fans would agree that like some wouldn't.
Yeah.
But a lot of them would agree that like I knew Pistons fans not this time a year ago, but like last January that were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like and he made leaps this year. The team got better, but he also made a leap as a shooter. His defense was way better this year. He looked more athletic. Like, I don't know. I think that Cade had a massive jump in terms of like where he was to where he was this year. But
okay.
Anyway.
I'm gonna give you I need cook for like 90 seconds. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
While we're talking about this Magic.
So yeah, I mean the Magic are the easiest fix in all of the NBA, to be honest. They need a single guard who can dribble, who can pass, and who can shoot, and isn't a total turnstile on defense. Here's the thing with Simons. how bad is his defense? Because he's had seasons where he looks like the worst defender in the NBA. He would be a fantastic fit with the Magic. He would. Offensively, that's exactly what they need. They need a guy who can handle the ball, who can create his own shot, who's a demon in the mid-range, great on threes. But the thing that I think, and I've said time and time again, the reason why I think the Celtics and the Magic are a weird matchup is that because they have this defense that switches everything, and it mucks up the Celtics offense in a way we haven't seen the Celtics offense mucked up before. Now, they eventually figured it out. They broke through. They won the series. But I would like to, that's the thing, like, I think Malik Monk could probably hold up a little bit better on defense than Anthony Simons. He's more athletic. I know they're both kind of, the Monk's pretty short. But I guess Anthony Simons is fairly athletic too. But he's just been so bad on defense. Oh my God. The Tux is
ready.
Here.
We're ready. So just everyone lock in.
Preview for maybe 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, we're gonna be. This costs some money, folks. Okay. But it's here. We're ready for the start of round 2. And it will cost me more money for every week I have to keep it out. So let's hope for. I've committed that I will continue to rent it.
Perfect.
For every week.
Amazing.
I'm gonna hold on to it the whole time. So
you're unbelievable, dude.
Let's lock in. I'll be right back again. I gotta hang this back up.
But yeah, unbelievable. I can't wait until there we go. We got a donation for $2. The Sam Tux Fund. Thank you, Vamp. Appreciate that. We'll put those $2 towards Sam's charity here. OKC, you are on watch. You better not let me down, because I will be eating so much shit on this podcast if you lose in the second round. Make the conference finals at least. Please make the finals so that I can survive this. I don't think I'll ever be able to survive it if they end up losing in the second round or the third round. But yeah, the Magic are a simple fix. Honestly, my idea for them, and I'm not just saying this because I don't even think it helps the Sixers. I'd rather just keep Quentin Grimes. But I would overpay for Quentin Grimes at a sign and trade if I were the Magic. He's the perfect guy to put with Suggs, Franz, and Paolo, in my opinion. The problem is that Quentin Grimes is probably going to get paid a decent bag. And sign and trades, teams don't tend to overpay, basically. They don't give real, but if they could just go get Quentin Grimes for the Sixers.
Yeah. What would that even look like? So are you guys getting KCP or something like that in that situation?
I guess we'd have, yeah, we just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They have other contracts. Like we could get Goga and.
Oh yeah. What's that contract?
We need a center, but I just don't think the Sixers are going to do it. They're not. I think Grimes is part of the reason why Morey didn't get fired.
True. But then you also have Maxey and McCain, though. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. What I'm trying to say is I think they're going to try a lot of 3-guard lineups, and they're going to play Grimes whenever one of those two sits.
I also think look, Grimes was amazing this year. I also think that was predominantly in Mickey Mouse March for a bad team.
Sure.
It's a really good time to.
Absolutely. I also think that he's a good NBA player, and the Sixers don't have enough.
True.
That's why they won't trade him. Yeah. If there was a trade where the Magic sent a first round pick, Goga went to the Sixers, and then they also got another good player in a sign and trade, they would consider something like that. But those things just don't happen, But Grimes is the perfect guy to put with that core because he can allow you. He's still a capable enough defender. You could throw him the ball. He could create his own offense. He's a really good shooter off the catch. He's a great play finisher.
Yeah.
He would be so good for the Magic.
He would. He really.
I'm trying to think of people have thrown out Kobe White. Kobe has some of the defensive problems, but also makes so much less money than Tyler Hero and Anthony Simons that I think you could live with it.
Yeah.
He makes $9 million next year.
Yeah.
It is the last year of that really good contract for him, though.
Yeah, and I wonder No, never mind. I don't know. The Magic, it's so hard because like I missed part of your monologue. Did we talk about Franz? Like, or did we just do the guard thing?
We did not talk about Franz. We just talked about.
What do you think? What do you think long term for Franz?
The shot thing is concerning.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, because
we're going on 2 straight years where it's just been like, it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And one of the selling points for Franz was that he was never a great shooter, but he was always a capable shooter who could do everything else.
Yeah.
And if he's not a capable shooter, that makes him a horrible fit with Paolo.
Yeah.
And especially
we agree Paolo's the one, right? Like the.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
Paolo's been great in the playoffs.
Yep.
Paolo's play style bogs down your offense a little bit, but also both of those guys building around 2 wings should in theory be really easy.
Yeah.
They've somehow made it complicated. They were also missing Suggs and Mo Wagner, and
Sure.
those guys have been like very important for them over the last year or two.
People will hear Mo Wagner and like really Mo Wagner. Like you watch the games.
No,
he's like usually pretty good. Yeah.
He's a good offensive center. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think he was playing 30 minutes a game in this series, but he could have given them a capable 20 minutes a game in this series.
He's also got dog. He's also gives them a much needed dog injection. Him and Suggs. Without him and Suggs, there was way less dog on the team.
Yeah. So long story short on the Magic thing, they'll get better health next year. I think they're in a great spot still.
Yeah.
The Franz part is like, if the shot continues to be, teams are just daring him to shoot, he's got to get better at it. Like he has to return to levels where he was his first few years, or else I think it just lowers his ceiling a little bit.
Yeah.
The good part is that both of these guys are great drivers. Both of these guys can handle the ball. Both of these guys Franz is a great defender. Paolo's a capable defender. I don't know what the fit looks like long-term with them, but I think you do what the Celtics did and try to make every iteration of the team try to work until you figure it out. Because what teams are looking for are these 2 kind of guys. like even if they're not perfect fits, you do everything in your power to try to make this duo work before you give up on it.
I agree. That was what I wanted to say is I think every iteration of this team, I don't think you trade Franz. I think you, no matter like how bad it gets, I think you try to make everything else fit around them. If it means trading Wendell Carter Jr., honestly, if it means giving up on Suggs because his contract is so big, like, and putting him somewhere. Nate asked in the comments what we thought about like Suggs' contract, and like I'm generally like fine with it, but I do think that their roster is getting expensive enough that they might start looking at him. You know, he might come up at some point in this run. Like
their defense was so good with him, and he was. I know their defense was like had moments in the playoffs, but he really was like the glue that kept their defense together for a while. And I think that that's so rare to find with like a guard defender.
Yeah.
And now look, he's kind of just the cherry on top of this defense. It's going to be good either way.
Yeah.
But to get that guy, honestly, the KCP contract only having 2 more years gives them some options.
Yeah.
The question for me becomes, we didn't bring them up when it came to Giannis.
No.
Paolo's about to get extended.
Mm-hmm.
Now, John Hammond, the guy who drafted Giannis, isn't with the Magic anymore. He's like he has like a fake role with the team now. He does not like really their GM anymore. I think it's Jeff Weltman, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Would they be perverted enough to make the switch? Because I heard before Luka got traded, I heard like over a year ago that if Luka ever became available, they'd consider trading Paolo because they love Luka that much. Now, is that just the ownership because of Luka's? Anyway, but I wonder if they would do Paolo, whatever it takes contract wise and picks for Giannis. I don't think they would, but I think they'd consider it.
The Magic wouldn't. I think if I'm the Magic, I do that in a heartbeat and I don't blink.
I mean, I would probably agree with you, but I also think that the way that they've historically built that franchise, they don't make those kind of trades.
They don't, no. No.
Their only time they've ever really done anything like that was Tracy McGrady, who was nothing when they traded for
They
him.
also like, here's the thing is they also haven't had the season where it like doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like normally you make those kind of trades when you hit the season where it like doesn't work. Like the Celtics hit that point when they got like roasted in the first round, like they had been in the things for a while and they made like some pretty ridiculous trades. Franz Suggs 5 daily fans by cheap promos.
It's a good package, to be honest.
Yeah.
She's got clout, dude.
She does have clout. She's she got drafted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a top 12 pick, I think. She was like a 12th pick in the
That also like doesn't mean anything in the NBA. They're like top 5 picks like waived. Like
yeah, I know.
It's crazy. It's so fucking vicious in the WNBA, dude. It's crazy. 11th, okay. But I think the thing is like they just had the year from hell. So they can be like, let's see what we look like with a normal season. You know, like I don't think they're gonna make any like big moves this offseason. And if they like lose in round 1 again next year, or like they're like not even competitive in round 2, I think then they start thinking about moves like that.
I agree. Yeah. I think they just run this back.
Yeah.
And I think they run this back. I think they try to get like a guard upgrade on the Cole Anthony spot.
I think it's going to be harder than you think. I kind of like Cole. I still kind of like Cole Anthony. Like,
well, they don't like him, so I don't really. Yeah, I mean, he had one good game for them. I know he was.
I must just watch it must just be every time I watch that Cole Anthony's good to me. I don't know.
Every Magic fan is done with the Cole Anthony.
Okay, well, they would know better than I would, so that's probably correct. So,
but anyway. That's kind of where I think they're at. I think they're in a good spot still.
Ooh, I like Vamp's comment. What would the Magic give up for Reeves?
This is the problem I have with every Magic trade, because they feel like a team that if they don't want to trade their core pieces, they don't have much to trade, because they missed on the Jet Howard pick. Yeah. Anthony Black is still very raw and has more value to the Magic than anything else. I don't think there's a trade there. I don't think that's enough for Austin Reeves.
Well, and like
how many picks?
Yeah.
And like I think the Lakers right now are in a mode, if they're trading Austin Reeves, it has to be for like a step up, and the Magic are not that team.
Yeah, probably.
Or like a sideways step for positional value.
The problem is that like I don't think anybody's going to be like dying to get Austin Reeves besides the Magic.
I think a lot of teams could use Austin Reeves. I think they could
use him.
Yeah.
Could use him. I don't know if they'd give up that kind of value though.
Yeah.
The way the Magic would.
They do have that Suns pick swap that we've talked about before. That's like a pick swap with the Wizards and the Suns for next year. But once again, they don't trade. They don't make trades. Like, can they make a small trade first before we're like they should trade for Austin Reeves and Giannis?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. They should try to do something like that.
What's their biggest trade they've made in the last 3 years? That isn't like for picks.
So Wendell Carter, right? Like
that was 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah.
They signed KCP as a free agent.
Yeah.
They signed Mo Wagner as a free agent. They haven't made like any trades. They need to make a trade this offseason.
It's crazy that they still have Gary Harris on that team, because it feels like he got traded to them a decade ago. Like
he got traded to them 4 years ago. That was the Aaron Gordon trade.
Oh, that's right. It was the Aaron Gordon trade. That seems wrong. It seems like Gary Harris was on the Nuggets longer ago than that. Like
they are. Well, he was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
They're due for a trade. Is my point on this. Time's ticking. They got to make one this offseason. And if they don't, their fans are going to be furious.
Yeah. No, they do need like some sort of improvement. I just like it's so hard to like trade for the guard because that generally that position is so wishy-washy. You know what I'm saying? Like guys are good one season and bad the next. Hero's a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? 2 years ago, Hero was dog shit. This year he's an all-star. Like, you know,
there is a scenario where they could try to clear cap space and get access to their MLE and sign Gary Trent Jr. I wouldn't hate that.
That's a good like backstop move. I feel like. That's like a good like.
That's like if there are no good trades.
Exactly. Yeah.
But But anyway, yeah, that's we've done plenty on these teams at this point, even though the whole first half of the podcast was just the Bucks. But we'll do the slop trial for Joe Dumars on the Patreon later this week.
Correct.
We'll talk about the rest of these playoff series as they wrap up and do more obituaries on the next episode.
I get to watch a West game tonight.
Let's go.
I get to watch a West game tonight.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm not streaming until later, so Sam, you'll just have to. I'm
Yeah.
streaming for the end of that game, but that's anyone who's in here right now. The 75 people who's in here right now, I will be streaming again in 2 hours.
Did you see our boy Prolific pop his head in to try to get the thing earlier?
That's it. He gets attendance. He gets attendance points. For that. I'm noticing.
Points. Yeah,
for the VIP.
We're noticing Prolific. We're watching.
If you want to be a VIP guy, you either have to come into the streams regularly or be someone in the Discord/Patreon,
or take a picture of yourself underneath SH's bed. Like, you have to contribute to the lore in some way.
Exactly. All right. So I'll be back later tonight. We'll be back with the Patreon episode later this week. Thank you guys for joining. See you in a little bit.
Please,
peace.
Please subscribe to the Patreon. This Tux bill might get pretty hefty, but let's see everyone later.